Dude Perfect here. Power up with the new smoothie we created with Smoothie King. It's loaded with pineapple, banana, kiwi, apple juice, and more. Straw me, boys. Perfect shot.
Get the Dude Perfect smoothie only at Smoothie King.
What are you doing?
I'm training for the new Ultimate Dash Scratch-Offs. I could get a chance to dash through a warehouse full of prizes.
That explains the shopping cart.
Plus, I could win up to $2 million in cash.
And that explains the tuxedo.
I'm chafing.
Feel the rush with new Ultimate Dash Scratch-Offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.78. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Your favorite resale shop is also in the custom cabinet business. Habitat for Humanity Restores offers brand new cabinets and in-home measurement service. And sales benefit Habitat for Humanity home projects. Habitat's partnering with manufacturers to offer you brand new, high-quality solid wood custom cabinets in multiple style and color options. And we offer competitive pricing. Learn more about custom cabinets from Triangle Restores and how your dream project could make someone's dream of home ownership come true at trianglerestores.org.
Direct auto insurance is for uncompromisers. Like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No, because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
We buy any car.
Why sell your car at WeBuyAnyCar.com? Because when you trade in, you're dealing with a dealer. And sure, they're interested in a good deal. For them, not for you. Come to WeBuyAnyCar.com instead. All we do is buy cars. You get in, get out, and get paid at a fair price. So don't take chances with a trade-in. Go to WeBuyAnyCar.com for a free online valuation.
Find out how much your car's worth at We Buy Any Car.
O'Reilly Auto Parts offers more than just the right parts for your repair. Our professional parts people can also test your battery, install your new wiper blades, and diagnose your check engine light for free. For the best service, advice, auto parts, and accessories, stop by the new O'Reilly Auto Parts in Bunn on Main Street next to Hardee's.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This hour on the Triangle Sports Leader is brought to you by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Shoot, he scores!
Go to GotBrian.com. That's GotBrian.com.
WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
I can't put into words what it means to win this tournament again. I really can't put it into words what it's going to be like to be a father for the first time. So I looking forward to getting home and celebrating with Meredith. And it's been a long week here without her, but I'm just looking forward to getting home.
Oh, we're going full heartstrings right at the beginning. I get it.
Oh, yeah.
I get it. Hi, everyone. It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria's here.
And you're back.
I am back. The azaleas are behind me. What?
I know. How was your extended weekend?
A lot of yard work. A lot of stuff done outside. Guess it rained a little bit on Thursday.
Yeah.
We kind of dodged that, but I did get... I was basically outside for 4 days.
It was a good time to be outside.
It was. It was quite nice. And I did watch a little bit of golf. Watched a little bit of the Masters.
Are you impressed?
You
Same.
Didn't watch. Would you stop? You didn't watch
the very end, I actually did. Scotty in his pink shirt.
It was peach.
Yeah, well, close.
It was peach. So, hi, it's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. That's Victoria. And we are here on a Monday. Scotty Scheffler won the Masters yesterday in case you were otherwise occupied, which a lot of people could have been. And that's quite all right. But it was we did a lot of yard work. It was a very taxing weekend physically.
I see what you did there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Hold on, there it goes.
Yeah.
There it goes.
So it is that day for people.
It is that day
So,
for people.
be well.
Is 5 o'clock going to come somewhere quicker? Maybe
Well, I don't know.
for
You get till
some?
midnight. You get till midnight.
No, I just mean the beverages because the stress.
Oh, yeah. Look, I did see something very interesting that it was a fictitious conversation had between, like, Americans and their government.
Uh-huh.
It's like, well, you know what today is, blah, blah, blah.
Uh-huh.
Well, what do I owe? Well, why don't you tell me what you think you owe?
Ah.
Right?
Yes.
And they were like, well, what if I just pay this? He goes, that's not what you owe. Well, you know what I owe.
Exactly.
So why don't you just send me a bill?
Why are we
Right?
doing this?
Right, exactly. It's a game. It's a
Yes.
game. We want you to guess.
Yes.
Guess. See if you can get it right.
It's a mind
And
game.
if you get it wrong, what happens if I get it wrong? Jail?
Right. Exactly.
Doesn't make a ton of
You're
sense.
dumb and you're in jail.
Right. It doesn't make a ton of sense.
And you're broke.
You either get it right or you go to jail.
Exactly.
I don't know. It seems harsh to me.
Win-win.
All right. Let's get right to it. We got a lot of stuff to do today. All right. Find the lie in this. Scotty Scheffler runs professional golf. Runs it. It's his. He owns it right now.
No lies there right now.
So we're going to get into a lot of the stuff that happened here. My friend Brad Fritsch, former PGA Tour player, is going to join us to talk about it in a little bit. He's also a big
Yes, he
Ottawa
is.
Senators fan.
Hockey fan. Yes.
And so we have a request for him for tonight.
Right.
But we'll get to that when we talk to Brad in a little bit. There's nobody better at golf right now on this earth than Scotty Scheffler. I have a hard time calling a grown man Scotty, but that's all right. It's okay. His dad's name is Scott.
Right.
So,
makes sense.
All right. It's fine.
Big Scott, little Scott.
Yes. So here's Scott on basically his run right now.
Do you sense that you're doing something different and something special right now?
I try not to think about the past or the future too much. I love trying to live in the present. I've had a really good start to the year, and I hope that I can continue on this path that I'm on. I'm going to continue to put in the work that's got me here. All
right. So let's just address that he's had a good start to the year. Okay? First of all, it's his second Masters in 3 years. He won in 22. John Rahm won last year. He won this year. It's his third win in his last 4 starts. The other start was a tied for second in which he missed a relatively short putt that would have got him into a playoff. And he had the lead going into the final round. It's a pretty good run. He has 9 starts, 8 top 10s this season. He has played 35 competitive rounds of golf on the PGA Tour this year. 33 of them are under par rounds. 33 of them are under par rounds. 26 of them are in the 60s. He has played 0 competitive over par rounds this season.
That's impressive.
0 over par rounds this season. He has played 1 major and the Players' Championship. And he has played obviously on some difficult golf courses. Statistically speaking, he is first in a stat called strokes gained, which basically measures you statistically against everybody else on tour. He's first, which I guess stands to reason. He is second in strokes gained off the tee. He is second in strokes gained on approach, which means the shots that you hit to a green. He is first in strokes gained combined in those two, which again is sort of self-explanatory. If you're first in one and second in the other, you are probably first in those combined. And he is also strokes gained on the off chance he misses a green. He is 5th in strokes gained around the green, and there are about 250 players who would be measured in this. That's what we're talking about here. The biggest fallacy about the Masters is that you have to be a great putter to win. You do not. You simply have to putt well enough to take advantage of the opportunities, and that is what Scotty Scheffler did this weekend at Augusta National. He was tee to green amazing. Amazing. Now, he wasn't the best tee to green, but he was the best at getting the ball in the hole, which is the whole which is the whole point. Literally, there were some contenders. Like, it was not like a couple of years ago he had a big lead going into the final round. Scheffler was in the final group and he had a lead, but he had a one-shot lead. And just like Saturday, there was a time where there were 5 players tied for the lead, and he wasn't one of them. He was a couple of shots back. And yesterday, there was at one point 4 players tied for the lead at -6. So this was not easy. But Scheffler was the only one who didn't wilt. He did not fall apart. And every other player made a catastrophic mistake that they could not recover from. We'll get back to Scotty Scheffler in a minute. And again, we're going to talk to Brad Fritsch in a few. Tiger Woods played 72 holes of golf this week. Honestly, that's the biggest win of the weekend, not named Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
The fact that Tiger played 4 rounds of golf at Augusta National is almost flabbergasting to me. In and of itself, that's a win. On Friday, because of weather on Thursday, and he was not able to complete his first round, he had to play 23 holes on Friday. Going into this week, he had played, competitively speaking, 24 holes of golf. He withdrew during his second round at his golf tournament in Southern California because he had, as he said, influenza.
Ah, yes.
Influenza. I've already made fun of that several times. It just seems so odd. Anyway, so he had played 24 holes, competitively speaking, prior to this week. He had to play 23 on Friday in the worst conditions on the most difficult walk in golf with a body that is obviously broken. I mean, shattered his body. And he got he played his second round that day. He finished his opening round of golf in the morning, right, very early, like 7:45 they teed off. And I think he made a couple of bogeys to finish off the round. And then in the most difficult of the conditions, cool, wind gusting to almost 50 miles an hour, he shot even par, which is one of the most incredible things you'll ever see. I mean, it was unbelievable that he did not shoot 85. And he got it around with that body on that course under those conditions in even. It was incredible. And he made the cut, and he even got a chance to try to flex on people after his second round. They were like, well, what do you feel about your position? I'm right there. I have a chance.
Nice.
Like, no, you don't.
I know.
We all know you don't.
but he believes
But
it.
it's okay. But it's okay. Lie to me. It's all right.
Yes, we'll take it.
And he shot 82 or something. He was terrible. Yeah, I think he shot 82. He was awful. Okay, whatever. Nobody cares.
No.
They watched you play for 4 days. And he got a chance to play with the only amateur that made the cut yesterday. And just, what an unbelievable thrill that had to have been. But here's Woods reflecting on all of it after.
It was a good week. It was a good week all around. I think that coming in here and having not have played a full tournament in a very long time, it was a good fight. A good fight on Thursday and Friday. Unfortunately, yesterday didn't quite turn out the way I wanted to. Today, the round that the way that Tom is playing is what I thought I had in my system. Unfortunately, I just didn't produce it.
He's referring to Tom Kim, who shot I believe a 66 or a 65, maybe. I don't know. He was way under par. Yeah, Woods needed that round. He actually didn't even need that round on Saturday. If Tiger could have shot something even close to even par, if he could have shot a 72 on Saturday, I'm not saying he would have won, because he would not have won. but he would have given people reason to go, come on, just stop messing with us. But he shot an 82, not a 72. It got away. It didn't get away right away. It got away like after about 5 holes.
Yeah.
And it was you could see where it was headed.
Yeah, he's feeling
he
it.
could barely move. I mean, like he was walking around like I had nitroglycerin in his pockets.
Yeah.
Because if one wrong step, it might all come crumbling down.
Very likely.
All right, so afterwards on Scott Van Pelt Sports Center, Andy North, 2-time U.S. Open champion, on what's next.
Well, I think we're probably looking at major championships this year. The PGA is only in a few weeks. He did a lot of really good things this week. I think the key with Tiger right now is that he runs so much on adrenaline, and once that adrenaline goes away, then it's really tough to get through the end of the week, as we saw.
He had only played 24 holes of golf all year, so playing the 23 on Friday to make it to the weekend, again, that felt a bit like a finish line. The key, I imagine, is creating the endurance that's necessary to be competitive for 72 holes. Can that happen?
I think that's really the key. And coming in here, I was concerned about his short game. He showed unbelievable talent and skill those first 2 days, getting the ball up and in, making some nice putts. Through the rest of the week, he didn't do that quite as well. Only made 2 putts over 10 feet out of 39 different opportunities.
All right. I do think it's important just to go back to what Tiger said a second ago, and that he felt it was a good week. This is where where he knows the deal, because he finished last, 60th. 60 players made the cut. He finished 60th, and he said it was a good week. So he understands the limitations.
Yeah.
He understands what the expectation should be. And the expectations are not about winning. They are simply about surviving.
Yeah, finishing, which he did.
Again, that was a win. All of this notion that he has a chance to, contend or it'll be any different at the PGA in May in Louisville or at the U.S. Open at Pinehurst in June. No. It's not going to happen. Do I think he could make the cut in every event he plays in? And he's probably only going to play the majors, to be honest. I think he could, but man, it's a long shot. It's a long shot. Even though Pinehurst will be friendly from a standpoint of generous fairways. It's not overly long, so he's not going to have to just bomb it. I think Louisville, Valhalla will be a little bit more difficult, but he has a chance to make the cut. But he's not going to contend. He just will not contend. And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay, except for if you want a spot in the field that he's got. All right, let me just throw one more thing about the Masters. Who could have won? Nobody. Not named Scotty Scheffler. Max Homa could have won. He went from the 4th hole in round 2 to the 2nd hole in round 4 between birdies. You got to make birdies at Augusta National because you're going to make a few bogeys. He made very few of those, but you have to make birdies. And Homa missed a ton of makeable putts that he could have gone a little bit lower each day. That isn't to say he didn't play incredibly well. He did. But Max Homa could have won. Ludvig Åberg from Sweden, who speaks better English than I do. He could have won. But you cannot put your second shot in the water on 11. You have to be dry. He was not, nor was Colin Morikawa, who could also have won. And Bryson DeChambeau could have won. I would like to know, Bryson, what were you doing on Saturday from behind the trees on the 15th trying to hit this big, boomerang hook around onto the green? You put yourself in a position where, boy, even if you hit a good shot, it was really hard to get up and down for par.
Yeah.
Even if he hit a good shot and he hit a bad shot into the water and ended up making, I think, a 7. I don't think he made an 8. Jordan Spieth made a 9 on Friday. That was fun. Not really. But that's where Bryson pretty much put himself out of it, even though he looked like, oh, look at that, Bryson's still in it. Nah, not really.
I was going to say, wasn't it a roller coaster for him where he was really good on one day and then really
Thursday,
bad?
he was amazing.
Yes.
He had the lead on Thursday. He played absolutely brilliant. Anyway, those are the players that could have won. Yeah, but only one guy was going to win. So I'm going to get into the whole, and maybe we'll talk about it with Brad coming up, this notion that, Scotty still needed to prove it against the live contingent. Like, excuse you, what haven't you been watching about Scotty Scheffler that would lead you to believe that there was going to be anybody coming in that was going to provide the obstacle? It would have been just Scotty. Scotty not playing well, but he just routined his second green jacket. He just routined it.
With a baby on the way and everything.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. All right, to other matters. Carolina Hurricanes are one game from the end of the regular season. One game. They beat Chicago with a 3-goal third period last night. They win it 4-2. Seth Jarvis scored a couple of power play goals. Sebastian Aho added one into an empty net. Here's the head coach, Rod Brindamore, on number 24 with 2 power play goals in the third.
We did a nice job, I thought, executing what we were, we knew what we had to do was getting it down there. And, he's a good player, so he made a couple nice plays. And, the one's a shot and a rebound, but that's what you do on power plays. And I think the key is we stayed patient with it. Like, we didn't have power play till that third period. And so the penalty kill had to come up big and kill theirs because that would have been the difference in the game, too.
Yep, penalty kill did what the penalty kill does. Power play apparently did what the power play does, and the Hurricanes got a 4-2 win as a result of it. So for the game on Friday, Carolina rested 4 starters. And for the game yesterday, they rested a couple more. I think Brady Shea and Teuvo Teravainen sat out this one. So, Rod is kind of spotting. Rest is difficult in a sport like this. Like you don't want to take risks, but too much rest isn't good either. You want to get into the rhythm of playing. And I don't know how he's going to approach tomorrow. It might have something to do with what happens tonight. We'll get to that as well. But Carolina has basically known that they're probably not winning the division because the Rangers are going to get that unless the Rangers, puke on themselves tonight. And these games have really had not much meaning to them over the last couple. And Rod knows that these are difficult games to play.
Thought it was, I thought we were okay. It was a tough game to play. We got our eyes on some other things, and to get through a game like this, I thought we got going a little bit. I thought Peter Mraz made some great saves, and we missed a couple little empty netters, and kind of, then hung around, right? And we were able to power play, and penalty kill was the difference tonight, which got us the win.
Yeah, look. It's hard sometimes when the other team's playing all loose and you really don't have a ton to play for either. There's not a ton of motivation to play other than, let's keep ourselves in it. But these are not easy games to play. But the game in St. Louis, I thought Carolina was very good. I thought the game last night, Carolina was okay, not great, okay. And tomorrow, depending on what happens between the Rangers and the Senators tonight, tomorrow's game will either have serious meaning or none at all. I mean, if Ottawa beats the Rangers, regardless, regulation or, in overtime or a shootout, then the Hurricanes can win the division and get the President's Trophy as the best record in the league with a win. Well, that's a nice carrot. The President's Trophy doesn't matter, but having a home ice advantage throughout the playoffs, as long as you stay alive, that does. That is a nice little bonus to take away from the regular season. So Carolina might be presented with that opportunity depending on what happens at Madison Square Garden between the Senators and the Rangers tonight. We'll talk with Brad Fritsch about golf and also his Ottawa Senators in just a minute. A couple of other things that happened over the weekend. Let's see. Kyle Filipowski and Jared McCain declared for the NBA draft out of Duke. We already knew that Tyrese Proctor was coming back. We don't know about Jeremy Roach. I'm going to predict that Roach will also come back. And if Duke has Roach and Proctor and Caleb Foster all back, I think the Blue Devils will be in very good shape in their backcourt going into next season. But it's going to be a very difficult the offseason is critical for Tyrese Proctor. I really thought he would turn pro, go play in Australia. He's an Australian kid. And then declare for the draft. I thought he would, because now he's going to do everything under watchful eyes. Everything. In probably a more difficult situation for him. So I wish him luck, because I think this year Duke needed him to be great.
Yes.
And he was anything but great. The WNBA draft is tonight. Caitlin Clark will be the first overall player selected. She's already in New York. She's been in New York. She was there Saturday. Later on, you will hear Caitlin Clark ripping Saturday Night Live's Michael Che.
So funny.
It is great. Absolutely great. And one final thing. There was apparently, I didn't see it, there was apparently a Billy Joel special on CBS last night.
Okay.
I don't know why there was a Billy Joel special.
It's very random.
No, yeah, I guess. But look, he's one of America's greatest songwriters ever. So, and I'm a personal favorite of mine, but so he had a special on CBS. And apparently, the network cut out of Piano Man.
Oh.
Right. Yeah, you mean, how do you do that? How do you cut out of Piano Man?
Terrible timing.
Right? All right, so here's my feeling on this is that it is perfectly acceptable to cut off Piano Man. This is an unpopular opinion. It's personal. For me, it's okay to cut off Piano Man because the song has been played and played and played and played. Now, if we're cutting off Ballad of Billy the Kid or Stoppin' Nevada or Ain't No Crime or Captain Jack, now we have a problem.
Yeah, bad ideas.
But if you want to, cut off Piano Man because I know the ending, I can finish the song.
Right. Everyone
and
does.
And most everybody else can too. Right? Just sing it to yourself. But those other songs, no. Let's let him finish those.
Right.
They don't get the airtime that the others do. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
I like Piano Man.
Right. It's just not your first choice.
But the other songs on the album for me, like You're My Home, no, man, we're not cutting that one off.
Yeah.
I've already had Billy Joel album debates with other people. Yeah. All right, we'll take a break. Brad Fritsch is going to join us when we come back. A former PGA Tour player. We'll find out what his thoughts are on Scottie Scheffler and Tiger Woods and maybe some of these young, up-and-coming bombers. Next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
The NC State magical run to the Final Four is over, but we can use all the cliches. Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. All good things must come to an end. When in actuality, it's about the future. How does NC State make sure it's not that one time they had that good run, and instead it's something they build off of? That's the challenge for Kevin Keats.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. And no, I'm not ripping up tickets because I had everybody but Scottie Scheffler at the Masters. I am thinking about the NHL and the NBA playoffs and Major League Baseball in full swing. And you can go to FanDuel.com, promo code AdamGold right now, sign up, and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you make your first $5 wager. NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, yes. Masters, no. FanDuel.com, promo code AdamGold for $200 in bonus bets, win or lose, when you make your first $5 wager. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Must be 21 and older and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only, $10 deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a Colonial with high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a peaceful neighborhood. And you found it. Now, every Saturday at 6 a.m., you get to wake to the sound of your neighbor's leaf blower. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, and personal loans. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Mitchell Heating and Cooling, we do the job right every time.
I'm Drake May, quarterback at UNC. Trust the team at Mitchell Heating and Cooling for your HVAC needs. Together we win. Call Mitchell Heating and Cooling today.
Contact us now at mitchellhvac.com or 919-556-5069. Train. It's hard to stop a train.
The best solutions every time.
Adam Gold here from my friend Dr. Lori Travers and Travers LASIK, the Triangle's only LASIK specialist who can take you to 20/20 vision, and it's more affordable than you think. 0% financing for 24 months is available, and in the spring, giving you $1,000 off. That's right, $1,000 off in the spring. All you got to do is call 919-510-6830, 919-510-6830, Travers LASIK. See what you've been missing.
This is Adam Gold.
Dan on Twitter, who you got? Robert Plant or Elvis Presley? That is actually very difficult because I don't want to disrespect Elvis Presley. I think it's Elvis. It's very, very close. And that is an incredible question.
The Adam Gold Show.
Yes, happy tax day. Yeah, exactly. It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria's here. We'll talk Masters with Brad Fritsch in a minute. So, there was a notion that Scheffler had come in on a roll and played incredible golf, especially the last 5 weeks. He had 3 wins and a tie for second in his previous 3 starts. He's now got 3 wins and a tie for second so far this year. And that's all happened in the last 5 weeks. That it might change when the LIV guys showed up. Well, it didn't. On day 1, there were a bunch of players who play on the LIV Tour that were on the leaderboard, but by the end of it, only Bryson DeChambeau was still anywhere near the lead. I think DeChambeau ended up on the first page of the leaderboard. Nobody else did. That's not to say that is significant of anything. But, because we've talked about this, I was told in years past, like when Brooks Koepka won the PGA last year, that's proof that LIV is a great tour. I'm like, well, we know they have great players. Nobody's who has ever debated that? Nobody's debated that. There's a reason why they're paying them all $250 million to go play. Because like a lot of these guys are great players. You know, Cam Smith, John Rahm, Brooks Koepka, Patrick Reed was hanging around, Joaquin Neiman was hanging around. There are great players there. So, but if we're going to be told or sold that the tour is so great, when we don't need to be sold, by the same token, did LIV take a hit this week when only Bryson DeChambeau seriously threatened the lead? The answer, of course, is no. No. Anyway, I'll get on that soapbox later. Brad Fritch, my friend, PGA Tour veteran who joins us on the Adam Gold Show, also a big Ottawa Senators supporter. Can we get some help from your guys tonight at Madison Square Garden?
You know, I hear a lot of you Canes fans asking me that and saying they're supporting the Senators. And let me just be the first one to say that I think the last time I saw an Ottawa victory in Carolina was like 1989. So
wow,
let's pump the brakes on the Canes fans supporting Ottawa.
Okay, all right.
So I think the last time the Sens played the Rangers at Madison Square Garden, we actually won easily. So it can be done. I'm hoping for a nice big win tonight.
Let's get it. They've been feisty. I like that. I like the fact that they have played with some edge, even as the games have stopped mattering. All right, let's get into Scotty Scheffler here. Yes, he's hot, but is he also not the best player in the sport right now?
Oh, he 100% is the best player in golf right now. He's been hot for 2 years. If only he had a cooperative putter last year, he'd have probably 2 times the number of wins that he has right now. I think he's on 9 PGA Tour wins, 2 majors. He putted, I think the strokes gained was 172nd. That's Brad Fritch territory when I was on tour. And, I mean, this is the best iron player in the world.
Yep.
One of the top 5 drivers of the golf ball in the world. And you saw it down the stretch yesterday when a couple of guys who were lurking had trouble with the shape of some of the holes. I specifically think of Morikawa on 9. Doesn't fit his shot shape.
Right.
Hits it in the trees and made a mess of it from there. And then Max Homa, who played very well, but he was trying to rope hook a 3-wood around the corner because he doesn't have that shot with driver on 13.
Right.
So Scheffler just stood up and did whatever he wanted to off the tee all week. And in particular, his driving and his short game were the best at Augusta last week. And, you'd almost say that he played just okay the rest of the way. Like his iron play was good, but it wasn't Scotty Scheffler good, and he still won by 4. So it's scary to think about. He's got such a great mindset. He's all these weapons in his arsenal. So he's definitely the best player in golf right now.
Brad Fritch is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show at Brad Fritch on Twitter. The thing about it is that I'm glad you brought it up that way, is that he didn't do anything spectacular. He didn't wow us with, did you see that? He just ho-hummed 72 holes. And he didn't run away. I mean, he ran away late when everybody fell off. But once the conditions got to the point where birdies were going to be readily available on Sunday, the first 3 days, making birdies was hard. But on Sunday, when the course, it got warmer, the ball stayed in the air a little bit longer, and I think the wind died down. Like, you were going to need to shoot a good score. And he was basically the only guy that did. I mean, he shot 68. If you have a one-shot lead and you shoot 68, you're probably winning that golf tournament. But everybody, not only did Morikawa hit one in the trees because of shot shape, but they also made critical mistakes. I would argue that Max Homa might have gotten unlucky as much as anything, but how many putts did Max Homa not make between the early part of round 2 and the beginning of round 4 that might have had him in a different position?
Yeah, I agree. I think what you saw yesterday, in particular on the second 9, was a little bit of how we used to watch Tiger Woods play majors, which is to say that he would hang around, and everyone knew he was going to make a couple birdies, so everyone else started to begin pressing. And you saw that on the 11th hole, both Oberg and Morikawa trying to fit it in to that left hole location. Max did get unlucky on 12, I think. He hit an okay shot. He probably, the ball lands 3 feet shorter, and he's totally fine, probably in the back bunker. He probably makes 3. But that's the kind of player that Scheffler is. They know he's going to play well 99 times out of 100, so they think they need to do something spectacular. And in reality, they did. I mean, Morikawa had to shoot, 67 to tie Scheffler. That's an outstanding round on a Masters Sunday. And the greens were still a little bit baked out. They're a little bit firm, but you did see some of Scheffler's magic. I don't want to downplay. I mean, he hit it pretty darn good yesterday starting on the 9th hole. He hit it to an inch on 9.
Yeah.
He hit it in there about 8 feet on 10. He made the smart play on 11 and trusted his chipping. He didn't get it up and down. Smart play on 12. Then he hit 13 and 2. He hits it, to 2 feet on 14. And then 16, he hit a great shot. So a number of shots in a row where he closed the door. So he did play well in that stretch. But up until the 8th, after the 8th hole, there were 2 guys tied for the lead and 2 guys 1 shot back. So it was definitely a golf tournament starting the second 9.
Yeah, I mean, at one point before Scheffler and Morikawa played the 8th, all 4 of them were 6 under par, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it was there for anybody else to win or to at least put pressure on Scheffler. I tweeted out early in the round that I guess it was through the first 7 holes. I mean, Scotty's leaving the door open. Does anybody want to walk through? And the answer was, we'll just kind of hang out here in the threshold. Nobody really wanted to walk through because even though the real difficulty of, look, there's danger everywhere. 10, 11, 12 can be dangerous. Obviously 17 and 18 had been playing difficult all week, but the real danger is in the first several holes. And, nobody took advantage of like even a softer opportunity on 3 or 2. I mean, we could sit here and talk about Rory McIlroy forever, who probably missed 10 putts inside of 8 feet over the course of the round, the first 3 rounds. That could have been very different. What do you think of Tiger's finish?
I thought it was very telling that after the round he called it a good week.
Yeah,
we're definitely have transitioned into not necessarily ceremonial golfer Tiger, but the elder statesman of the game who might have one magical week left in him, but for the most part, if he plays 4 rounds, it's a good week.
That's magical if he plays 4 rounds.
Yeah. One thing I did see, so I was there last year watching, and him limping off the first tee in the first round was painful for me to watch. It just looked uncomfortable. It made me feel uncomfortable. I can only imagine what it felt like to him. This year, his gait for the entire week looked okay. It didn't look like he was getting through the ball on Saturday and Sunday very well, so that tells me it's a little bit of a lower back thing instead of a leg and ankle thing. But his walking looked a lot better than it has in the past year and a half. So that's a positive. He's still striking the ball well off the tee. He's hitting it far. And for the first 2 days, that was Tiger putting like he did 20 years ago. He made so many par putts, so many par saves. For him to make the cut was pretty darn good the way he hit it. So I was impressed with his game through 2 rounds, but you kind of figured that the 2 rounds took it out of him. They were not easy days to play in, especially Friday, and then Saturday was just as difficult. I don't recall a 2-day stretch at the Masters like that in a long time, where the course was so difficult and the conditions were so difficult.
Yeah, I thought Friday, the second round that he played, he bogeyed 2 of his last 5 holes, finishing his first round. The fact that he shot even par in those conditions, having to play basically 23 holes, the last 18 of 23 holes, when he had played 24 competitive holes coming into the Masters all year. I thought it was one of the more remarkable things that I had seen, because you saw what everybody else was doing. The average score was a 75 in round 2, and he got it around in 72. It was incredible. There was no way he had anything left. And he started off fairly well, actually, on Saturday. I think he was even through like 5 holes, and then it all went haywire. Who could have won this tournament not named Scottie Scheffler?
It's such a tall ask to think that Ludwig Oberg could have won, but he certainly was in position. I thought Max Homa, for him, had a pretty poor putting week, so that tells you how well he struck the ball.
Yep.
You were talking about his putting rounds 2 and 3 specifically. He hung in there mentally, though, man. It is really frustrating. I've been there making 17 pars and a bogey, when you know that there are holes that are specifically designed and set up for birdies. But he hung in there, and he gave himself a chance on the back 9, and that's all you can ask. I don't know how many times I'm going to get fooled by certain guys, and I don't say it to be mean, but a guy like Xander Schauffele is like a super popular pick, right?
Yep.
He's going to break through, and maybe he just won't. And he'll win a bunch of PGA Tour events in his life. I just don't. He's one of those guys where you'd say, man, I can't pick him again until he wins. He has to win one before I pick him again, that type of thing. Wonderful player, but there's just seems to be always a guy who's going to beat him in the big events. And that's okay. There are, tons of guys throughout history who are great players who never win a major. Thinking deeper into the top 10 of the week, I don't know. My pick for the week outside of Scheffler was Will Zalatoris.
Right.
He played well. You didn't see much of him. I think he finished 10th or 11th.
Yeah.
But there weren't too many guys that really had a chance. You talk about Bryson maybe, but it looked like it was the first week of him playing with those irons competitively, which it was.
It was, right.
Because he just misfired a bunch of times where he hit it, he posed, and then the ball flew over the green.
Yeah.
And it just happened a lot, and he looked surprised. And so I think it was just one of those weeks where his equipment might not have been dialed in, and then he didn't putt well on the weekend. He putted fantastic the first day, and then that was kind of his best day by far.
Yeah, and his decision on 15 on Saturday was poor. Even if you're lucky enough to curve it as much as you basically had to hit a boomerang to get it onto the green from where he was. I mean, just lay it up and wedge it. It was in a position where hitting a wedge to that hole location was probably going to be a lot easier than doing anything else, and he put himself in a very difficult spot. Let me just ask you one more question about maybe it won't happen. You think it'll ever happen for Rory McIlroy?
At the Masters, there's so much baggage.
How about a major at this point?
Yeah, I think he has the potential to win a major.
Well, he should have won. He should have won 2 of the last 4. He should have won at the Old Course and at LA Country Club last year.
Yeah, when he has to, I'll say this: he doesn't have the driving advantage that he used to, even though he's still one of the top 3 or 4 drivers of the ball in the world. He doesn't have that extra length that he used to possess over everyone else. Everyone else has caught up to some extent. So there aren't as many guys left in the dust as there used to be. A lot of his major wins were on soft, windless golf courses. And, St. Andrews was really firm last year, and it was down to his wedge and his putter. And those are probably the 2 weaknesses of his game, right? Colt Knost kept talking about it all week on the Masters app, the best app in the world. 6-iron through driver, he rivals Scotty Scheffler. But after that, he's kind of an average PGA Tour player, which is hard to overcome if you want to win major championships. So he still has the overall game. I just think the baggage is getting really, really heavy. He's over 50 pounds at the check-in desk right now, having to pay extra. Like, it has to be, everything has to be set out perfectly for him, I think, to win, especially at Augusta. So I'm going to say no, because there are so many talented players now that have not caught up to him in terms of talent, but there's just a ton of guys who are super, super hungry. And I think in Rory's head, it might be getting towards, like, is this ever going to – maybe he's asking himself some questions.
I think he is asking himself some questions. I'm still Team Rory, and I'm still Team Brad Fritsch. At Brad Fritsch on Twitter, former PGA Tour player. I thank you very much, man. We'll go Senators tonight so the Hurricanes can win the division again.
Hey, who's starting game one for the Canes?
Frederick Anderson.
Okay, good answer. It's the correct answer.
It is the correct answer. I have given that answer incorrectly in the past, but I'm pretty sure it is the correct answer right now. So, all right, man. I'll talk to you soon. Appreciate your time.
Okay, take care.
You got it. Brad Fritsch here on the Adam Gold Show. We got a break. One-timers next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
During this sports season, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling to and from athletic events. Whether you are driving out of or across town, wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. Start the season off right. Prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. Remember, click it or ticket. It's the law. This message is brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Your background may not include agriculture, but 2 years at the Agricultural Institute will prepare you for a career in it. Whether you are a military veteran with an arsenal of skills, kickstarting your second career, or about to graduate high school, the Agricultural Institute at NC State University is the right place for you. Nurture your passion and find your career. Learn more about our program online by searching NC State Ag Institute. Deadline for fall enrollment is June 1st. 2 years, 1 degree, endless possibilities.
Fair housing is more than just a celebration in April. For North Carolina's realtors, it's an everyday standard. For the 56,000 realtors across our state, we embrace and support fair housing to stamp out discrimination in all forms. As realtors, we believe fairness is worth fighting for, and we won't stop until the fight is won. Celebrating Fair Housing Month, North Carolina Realtors. We open doors to everyone. Paid for by North Carolina Realtors.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Charlotte this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 25 different sports. The Body Armor State Games features 13,000 athletes and 700 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Harris Teeter, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
Think it's too pricey to pursue your interest and earn a degree? Well, if you're a North Carolinian from a household making $80,000 or less, think again. The Next NC Scholarship could cover more than half, if not all, of your tuition and fees at any NC community college or public university. This is money that doesn't have to be repaid. The Next NC Scholarship helps you know what you're getting because it combines federal and state-funded financial aid to form a new, simplified award. We're talking at least $3,000 for community college or $5,000 for a public university, making the cost of education more manageable. The Next NC Scholarship also helps you know where you're going because you could see how much you could get to pay for the schools you're interested in. So picking the right path for you in your future is now easier than ever. Applying is as simple as filling out the FAFSA. Dig into the details at nextncscholarship.org. The Next NC Scholarship. Know what you're getting, know where you're going.
Trust ACT Construction Equipment and Bandit Wood Chippers and Stump Grinders to position your tree service for success. ACT Construction Equipment is your authorized dealer for sales, service, parts, and rentals for Bandit Wood Chippers and Stump Grinders. ACT Construction Equipment has been your authorized dealer for Bandit equipment for over 10 years. Visit one of our 6 North and South Carolina locations or actce.com for more details on Bandit Wood Chippers and Stump Grinders. ACT Construction Equipment, always the right equipment for the job.
April is National Volunteer Recognition Month, and AARP thanks the hundreds of AARP volunteers working to help you get the most out of life. Learn more about the work being done to improve lives and communities across North Carolina by listening to AARP Without Limits. You can find the latest episodes of AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
My mother was very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign and she wasn't even really sure where she was at.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This is Adam Gold.
Anti-vax, anti-sax. Who's going to say no to that on the campaign trail? You can put that on a bumper sticker. You can slap that on the podium when Aaron Rodgers is at the campaign rally. You're not going to be a football player for the Jets and be on the ticket and campaign. You can't do both.
The Adam Gold Show.
Well, that is directed directly at the Internal Revenue Service today.
Yes, it is.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Welcome to Tax Day.
Yeah.
Got until midnight.
That's it.
Midnight. You can postmark it if we still use postmarks. Get them in the mailbox by midnight. All right. I went way too long. Let's get right to it. Time for one-timers.
It's okay. It's always fun to talk to Brad, especially he was throwing some Kane shade out there with.
Well, it's like, I don't know when the last time Ottawa. I feel like Ottawa beat Carolina last year.
I thought so too, but I don't know.
I'm gonna have to go look it up.
He felt some type of way about it.
He did. He did.
So after seeing Tiger Woods this past weekend, what do you think his potential is moving forward? Like, do you think is this the ceiling, or can you see him maybe working himself back up?
No. He can be a great dad, and down the road a great grandfather, and a ceremonial golfer. He's not. No, we're done. We're done with contending, and even let him. I have no problem if he wants to pretend.
Yeah.
Let him pretend. And let everybody else just drink it in and maybe get caught up in it, but it ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah, it is okay. Well, next up with the Masters, so Scotty, what do you see? Do you see him going on a run? Could he potentially...
Isn't he on one?
Well, it feels like it.
If he's going to get on one and he's not yet on it, we're in trouble.
Time to do it.
Look, he's the best player in the world. He doesn't have to be a great putter. He is great at everything else, and if you're great at everything else, the hole will get in the way enough. He is the best player on earth. Right now, the second best player is pretty far away from him.
I knew I should have put a bet on him before the Masters.
I mean, he had the shortest odds since Tiger.
Yeah.
It was plus 400 to win the Masters.
Right.
I mean, literally, the favorites have been around plus 1,000. He was plus 400.
Yep.
It was a gimme.
Okay.
Yeah, we should have all taken it.
I know, we should have. And this might be last but not least, who's likely to meet the Canes in the first round of the playoffs?
Remember last year? It's likely going to be the New York Islanders again, unless Ottawa beats the Rangers tonight. And if that happens, then Carolina can go to Columbus with a win. Could be Washington, could be Detroit, could be Pittsburgh even. Yeesh.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Oh my gosh, my mind is still blown away with how amazing a UFC 300 was this past Saturday, and I know a lot of people who ended up cashing in big because of it. Hey, it's Victoria Vodnecker here for BetMGM, and even if MMA isn't your style, we also had the Masters this weekend with Scotty Scheffler taking home the green jacket again. He was a great example of going with a safer bet and still coming out with a payout. And right now, BetMGM is offering $150 in bonus bets just by making your first $5 wager and using code VICTORIA150. Now, whether you win or lose that bet, you'll still get $150 in bonus bets. Plus, when using the BetMGM app, you're going to have options like same-game parlays, live bets, prop bets, and daily promotions that spice things up. So for $5, you'll get $150 in bonus bets to experiment with using code VICTORIA150. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus, only North Carolina only. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Sanja loves to bake, but her feet, they were throbbing. Then one day, I found a solution. Arch supports from the Good Feet store. Have foot pain? Good Feet could help.
You too can live the life you love with arch supports from the Good Feet store.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Dallas Brule from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. You guys do so many things: windows, doors, siding, gutters, awnings, roofing.
Roofing is the most important part of your home. You want to make sure you keep the water out. Our roofing products made by CertainTeed, the shingle roofing, it comes in a lot of different colors, a lot of different styles, but it has a 50-year, 5-star warranty on all material and labor, backed by the manufacturer. It's non-prorated.
I've never heard of a 50-year warranty. I always hear like 20 or 30.
Unless a tree hits the house or you have some storm damage, it'll be the last roof you ever put on your home.
I like that. What about metal roofing?
We do a lot of metal roofing. We got the standing seam, comes in a lot of different colors, and it'll last forever, but it doesn't have the 50-year warranty like the shingled roofing does.
Sounds like you're pushing shingle roofing, which you should probably.
It's affordable, and again, it's hard to beat because it's really the last roof you'll have to pay to put on your home.
Dallas Brule from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
I lock up my Old Spice Fiji aluminum-free dry spray to keep that 24/7 lasting freshness safe for myself. Fresh coconuts, palm trees in the wind. It's like catching waves in Fiji. Actually, I just talked myself into a refreshing spritz of Fiji. My Old Spice is missing! No!
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friend Gordon Miller. Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary. And Gordon sent me a text the other day. Well, he sends me a lot of texts, most of which have to do with sports. This one had to do with mortgage rates, which seem a little high. But he said, remember, it's an election year. They'll drop. Look at all these people going out and paying closing costs because they've been told that the rates aren't coming down. Because, well, they're not right now. But they will because we're in an election cycle. And this is what always happens. And even if they don't, and they will, they'll drop because mortgage rates drop. And if you pay closing costs, you are banking that the rates will not drop in 8 years. That's never going to happen. Save yourself thousands of dollars. Don't pay closing costs. Give yourself the freedom to refinance free of charge when the rates come down. Average length of a mortgage is less than 4 years. It'll take you 8 to break even if you pay closing costs. Don't pay closing costs. You don't have to. MillerLending.com, home of the original no closing cost mortgage. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 250-2146.
This hour on the Triangle Sports Leader is brought to you by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Shoots, he scores!
Go to GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
I was very focused out there today. I feel like I did a really good job. Teddy did a great job of making sure that we kept the golf course in front of us. I didn't get off to the best start, but had some key up and downs. And, Teddy, once again, did a great job of keeping me in it. And, we had a great week.
Well, yeah, they won again. Second time in 3 years, Scotty Scheffler's won the Masters. Now, I will allow for this. It is possible that he's just perfect for that golf course because he even said it in the post-round press conference. It's not a golf course that beats you up off the tee. It allows you some room. As long as you're relatively straight, it allows you room. And Scotty said he was just teeing it up high and hitting it hard. So it's you don't have to be as precise off the tee as you do at a U.S. Open. Or if you're playing in an Open Championship where every single fairway bunker that you hit is essentially a drop shot. So it doesn't do that to you. And the Masters has always been one that, yes, angles matter, but you can play from just about anywhere as long as you are in play. Scotty was, for the most part, in play all day. He made a bunch of birdies, and a lot of players didn't. And because everybody's making bogeys. But he also, other than his double bogey on, I think it was the 10th hole Saturday, he didn't make any big numbers. Max Homa had the double bogey on the 12th hole, which, it didn't eliminate him, but it kind of did. So Scotty was just the best player, and frankly, he is the best player at this point. We'll get to more of that in a moment. This is our second take, though, as we look at the news of the day, and the Carolina Hurricanes won their 5th consecutive game. Last night, they win 4-2 over the Chicago Blackhawks. Seth Jarvis, a couple of power play goals. Sebastian Aho added one into an empty net. Jordan Stahl scored his 10th of the year. Pyotr Kochetkov had, I don't know exactly how many saves he had, but he had a bunch of saves, and he treated Athanasiou like a bowling pin. Did you see that?
I did not.
Oh, Athanasiou comes in a breakaway. It was right after Chicago makes it 2-1. Like maybe the next shift.
Uh-huh.
And I think Athanasiou had the goal to make it 2-1. And he's coming in a breakaway. And Kochetkov was like, no.
Not today, sir.
He came out and poke check, body block, whole thing. Athanasiou goes over into the post. Could have been
bad.
A difficult situation. And Kochetkov did get a penalty, which,
it's okay.
It's a penalty. I think it's a penalty.
I love
I don't even know the rule there. He got the puck first. So if you get the puck first, but if you follow through and you also get the player, you're going to go.
Yeah.
So I got no problem with the call there.
I love his spunk.
He's crazy. He's legit crazy.
Yeah.
But he prevented the goal. Then the Hurricanes had to kill off the penalty. They did. And ultimately, they get a power play. Seth Jarvis scores the power play goal to tie it. They get another power play later. Seth Jarvis scores the power play goal to put him ahead. Aho scores into an empty net to win it. But it wasn't a great Carolina Hurricanes performance.
No.
But it wasn't as good as Friday against St. Louis, which is good. And it wasn't as good as Tuesday against Boston. And I realized that we have talked since, because I was here Wednesday. That game against Boston on Tuesday in Boston was, I think, Carolina's best and most representative game of who they are all year. And it was like, you can't even pretend that Boston didn't need the game either. Because right now, Boston's trying to stay ahead of Florida to win the Atlantic Division. Although, I would argue that if you're Boston, do you really want to play Tampa?
Right. The answer should be no.
Yeah, that would be that would be the team I would like to avoid.
Right.
There was this notion that if the Hurricanes win the Metro, they would play Tampa. And that would have been the case had winning the Metro not also carried winning the Eastern Conference with it. And right now, that's what it does. The Hurricanes, by virtue of that win over Boston a week ago tomorrow, that Carolina will finish ahead of Boston. They're ahead of Florida, too. And even though Carolina's only got one game left, they've got a cushion. Mm-hmm. Carolina can get to 113 points with a win tomorrow. And if they win and the Rangers do not beat the Senators tonight, Carolina's going to end up with the best record in hockey.
Yes. You love to see it.
I mean, this is what they do, right? Here's the best thing about what Carolina has done this year. They have done it entirely without a long winning streak, which, frankly, is difficult to do. The Hurricanes have not lost consecutive games in regulation since December 12th.
It's been a lot of games since December 12th.
December 12th. They are 38, 10, 38-6 since counting the game in Ottawa on December 12th. 38-10-6. They have lost consecutively twice since then, but they were both as the back end, or one of those was either in a shootout. One was either in a shootout or an overtime.
Yes.
Right? So you get a point out of those games.
Mm-hmm.
They have not gone 2 games without a point since December 12th.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So, and the level of consistency they've played with all year is really remarkable. Couple of quick things. One, and Brad asked about Freddie Anderson. Anderson has been spectacular. The save he made he made back-to-back saves in St. Louis, including like a lunging glove save to keep the game tied. It was one of the best saves in the entire league the entire season.
Well, I think I heard a stat a couple days ago that isn't he ranked like the highest goalie as of right now?
Well, he hasn't played enough to qualify for any of those rankings. You have to play, it's like, I don't know how many games it is. Kochetkov is ranked in the NHL, and Kochetkov's a top 10 NHL goalie. Like, no joke.
And crazy.
Right, and crazy. So, remember at the beginning of the year, the Hurricanes had the worst goaltending in the league.
Yes.
Like, not like, oh, they're bad. No, they had the worst goaltending in the league until December 12th.
Yeah, we didn't even know who the goaltender was half the time.
We literally went back. Is it Ranta? Is it Kochetkov?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody else?
Is Freddie ever coming back?
Right. We had no idea if Anderson was ever going to play again.
Yeah.
Then they go out and they get the chocolate eclair that is Spencer Martin out of the trash bin. And he plays 3 great games for them. And he had to spot them at times where they needed him. So, but their goaltending came around. Out of nowhere, it came around. And since the 12th, as a team, I believe they are 3rd in the NHL in goaltending.
It's great.
I can't.
It's complete opposite.
It is not to be explained.
No.
It is sports, and sometimes sports happens weirdly. But the Hurricanes as a team are better positioned now than they have ever been. In this run, the addition of Gensel and Kuznetsov's not even playing well right now.
Yeah.
He's not playing poorly, but he is not impacting the game like he needs to for Carolina. But they have options.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it's a guarantee. I think he will start the playoffs. But I also think he's going to have to earn the spot.
Makes
so
sense.
he's going to have to play well as the playoffs get underway. And right now, the last 2 games, Yevgeny Kuznetsov has skated on Carolina's 4th line. So Jack Drury has bumped up back to where he was. Back to what I said a few weeks ago, that my fear was that the Hurricanes are going into the playoffs with Jack Drury as their second center. Now, the truth of the matter is that right now, Andrei Svechnikov is playing with Jordan Staal and Jordan Martinook, and that line has been good for the last few games, and I think Rod is probably going to leave it just the way it is.
Yep.
So now you're back to having Jordan Staal as your second center and Jack as your third. Those lines, your 3rd and 4th lines, need to be good offensively. They have to find support scoring for the top line, which is a machine right now.
Love it.
So
They're
I know
fierce.
2 of the goals were power play goals, and I know Jake Gensel's had a couple of empty net goals lately, so has Aho. But if you watched last night, I mean, they could have had 4.
Yeah.
They could have had 4 last night. They just didn't.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I couldn't actually watch the game, but I was getting notified on my phone. And when I saw that the Hawks were up 1-0, I thought, oh, come on.
Yeah. And actually, Carolina was the better team in the first period. But one breakdown, which, frankly, I think was Martin Necas' fault. Or at least he sort of indifferently pursued the puck, and it created an odd man chance the other way. I thought Carolina was probably the best team, better team in the first period. I thought it was a relatively even game. But Carolina's just better than Chicago. And the special teams, they won the game. When Chicago was here, right, the Blackhawks scored 2 power play goals.
They did.
So the Hurricanes, remember when they played at Washington, Washington scored 3 power play goals. The next time those two teams played, Washington scored 0 power play goals.
Exactly.
So Carolina was like, yeah, not going to let that happen again. And they did that last night.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they gave up a power play goal, I think, to St. Louis. But their power play again, their penalty kill is operating at about 90% efficiency.
Can't complain there.
Yeah, if it stays there.
Yes.
And I was a guest of there's a Canes podcast that I go on every once in a while called Caniac Sessions. The guys are great. They asked who I was afraid of in the East. The answer is nobody. But I do believe that in order to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals, the Hurricanes are going to have to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah.
I think Tampa is coming out of the Atlantic. And if I were Boston, I don't think Boston's better than Florida. Florida's really fallen off to fall below the Bruins in the standings. But I think ultimately Florida is better than them. I think we'll see Tampa and Florida meet in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
That will be an amazing series.
Yes.
I favor the Lightning because I just think they're playing in that way.
Well, the Lightning in the playoffs, they just ramp things up. Even because they don't feel like the regular Lightning that we've seen the past few years.
They're not.
There's just some switch that flips when they get into the playoffs where things click for them.
You know what their power play is operating at? 30%. They have the best power play in the league. Carolina's second. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's why the Lightning are super dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Kucherov, Stamkos, Point, Hedman. They've got enough.
Oh,
They've got enough. And Vasilevsky, who will just summon something.
Yeah.
So that, to me, is where I believe Carolina will have to go through in order to get to the Stanley Cup Finals. And Dallas.
Yeah.
That's who I like
one.
in the West.
Big team.
Yeah, a big team.
Big physical team.
And a team that beat Carolina twice this year, basically the same way both times. Just taking advantage of a little mistake here and getting it behind your goaltender.
Yeah.
That's what has happened both times. That's who I think is who Carolina will have to deal with. Let's see, a couple of other quick things. NBA playoffs, the play-in tournament starts tomorrow. Western Conference first tomorrow, then the East. We're going to talk about this with my friend Kanata Edwards, Not on the Scribe, coming up in just a couple of minutes. And I will ask him the question, are the Bucks really better with Doc Rivers? Really? Are they better with Doc Rivers? Because I think they're under 500 with Doc Rivers. Like, what?
Well,
but look, I'm not saying they're not better off with Doc Rivers, because I don't know how that was those records and the analytics that went into it, but they don't appear to be better.
I know they don't want him in the booth.
No,
he got kicked out of the booth.
He did, and also, how much pressure is on Tyrese Proctor? This not this year coming up, this offseason, to become the player he needs to be. We'll talk about all those things with Kanata Edwards next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late-night craving for in-depth analysis on the Carolina Hurricanes and their latest game, their latest win, their pursuit of the Stanley Cup? Well, I can quench your thirst. I can feed that appetite on the Canes Corner podcast, the morning after edition, which drops the morning after every Hurricanes game. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. It is playoff time in the NBA and the NHL. Baseball's in full swing. The Masters is over, so all of my losing bets are gone. FanDuel.com. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, has what you need for the playoffs and baseball's regular season. $200 in bonus bets guaranteed, so you won't feel guilty when you lose. FanDuel.com, promo code AdamGold. FanDuel.com, promo code AdamGold. You get $200 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 wager. FanDuel.com, promo code AdamGold. Again, FanDuel.com, promo code AdamGold. And FanDuel's America's #1 sportsbook for a reason. $200 in bonus bets awaits. Must be 21 and older and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop. Introducing Bojangles' new Bird Dog, a seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supreme, dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all on a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 bird dogs for just $5 or a 2 bird dog combo for just $8. Hurry, Bo's Bird Dogs are available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
What are you doing?
I'm training for the new Ultimate Dash Scratch-Offs. I could get a chance to dash through a warehouse full of prizes.
That explains the shopping cart.
Plus, I could win up to $2 million in cash.
And that explains the tuxedo.
I'm chafing.
Feel the rush with new Ultimate Dash Scratch-Offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.78. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
April is here, and if your windows won't open for fresh air or seal tight to keep out pollen and bugs, then talk to Window Nation right now. For every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 free. There's no limit to how much you could save. Plus, you could save even more with no interest or payments for 24 months. With proven quality, you'll get affordable windows that meet or beat the national brands. Don't miss out. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com to schedule your free in-home estimate.
Want to keep your gas-powered engines running like new? Stable's proprietary formulas are proven by third-party testing to outperform the competition in keeping fuel fresh, preventing corrosion, and cleaning the entire fuel system. With Stable, you can have confidence you are doing the right thing for your engine's long-term health. Just pour into your gas can or fuel tank, then top off with fresh fuel. At every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable. Available where fuel additives are sold.
This is Adam Gold.
There are 2 groups of people who do not really know how college sports works. One are fans. It's not your job. And the other, people who get paid to represent citizens of the United States on Capitol Hill.
The Adam Gold Show.
Happy April 15th to everybody.
Is it happy? We make the most of it.
No editorial comment.
We try.
Happy Ides of April.
Yes.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria's here. It has nothing to do with what most Americans have to do today. File by midnight, please. But the Charlotte Hornets are looking for their next head basketball coach. My friend Kanata Edwards, at Nada the Scribe on Twitter, I'm sure has thoughts. I saw where Lindsey Harding, former Duke star, a former #1 overall WNBA draft pick who was the coach of the year in the G League for the Sacramento Kings G League affiliate. She is on the interview list. What say you about this?
I hope she's not a gimmick, quite honestly. I think she's a very accomplished coach. She put her time and she's grinded in Sacramento, and she's even had to coach in Stockton. Stockton, California is one of those places you don't really want to go unless you absolutely have to. And she put her time in, and she's done a lot of good things. I think she is a very qualified candidate. The question that needs to be answered, quite honestly, is do you want to risk your career on a team that's gotten 50 games out of LaMelo Ball? Brandon Miller looks like he's going to be something, but also Mark Williams hasn't played. And, you still might need to sign Miles Bridges too.
There's a lot going on. You and I were going back and forth about this yesterday. There's, and these are not the same situations, but in the National Football League for a long time, and even to a very large extent today, black head coaches were not getting the plum jobs. You were not getting the Giants. You were not getting the Patriots. You were not getting the Cowboys. You weren't getting one of those jobs. You were getting the Houston Texans or the New York Jets, right? Or the Raiders, and you were not getting time. You were getting a year, you were getting 2 years, and then you were done. I wonder if it would be the same thing, or could it be that if she is legitimately good to do this, that it would just take a lot of guts for somebody to say, you know what, we think she's the best person for this gig?
It would take a lot of guts, but I would also add this. It would take a decent amount of structure. And that structure, I'm not sure the Charlotte Hornets currently have right now. Are they in the process of building the structure? Absolutely. But we're also talking about a team that, when they did this coaching search 2 years ago, had the guy back out on them, Kenny Atkinson, quite literally in the 11th hour.
Yeah.
And then have to go back to old friend Steve Clifford, who was the only guy probably willing to take the job at that point, because the worst kept secret in the league was that Jordan was selling at some point. So and it's funny that we're talking about this, because the reputation that this franchise has right now, would they be best served possibly by hiring a Lindsay Harding? Possibly. But at the same point, I'm not sure that for her career, it's not better to hold off, get in the first row of coaching when Jordy Fernandez eventually gets hired by one of these teams, get some more Mike Brown seasoning, and she's better off in a better position than probably even Becky Hammon was by doing this, than taking the Charlotte Hornets gig, where if everything goes wrong, and again, you look at the history of the Hornets, it might be 2.5 years and she's done, and then she's probably not coaching in the NBA anymore.
Nada the Scribe is joining us here. Kanata Edwards here on the Adam Gold Show, CBSSports.com. It's obviously it's going to be a risk, and anytime you take a job, and there aren't a lot of great jobs available, which is why they're available. The Charlotte Hornets is not a plum job. Let me ask you about another job. Did Doc Rivers make the Bucks better?
I don't think that's a situation you could bring in Phil Jackson from South Dakota somewhere.
Right.
And I'm not sure that you can fix that. That is a fundamentally flawed team, if we're really honest.
Right.
Damian Lillard has issues guarding the point of attack. You have Pat Bev that's supposed to be there to help fix that, but it comes with its own little issues.
Yeah.
You have Giannis, who for the last, 3 postseasons has picked up some sort of injury that has gone from either debilitating to at minimum hampering him. And then Brook Lopez is Brook Lopez. Chris Middleton plays less games than either Damian Lillard or Giannis at this point. That is a disaster, and it makes me wonder, and I think me and you had this conversation off wax, why did Doc even take this job?
Yeah.
Because this was one of those things that you couldn't win. And quite honestly, he would have been better served to go stay on that ABC ESPN sideline, do his announcing, and play golf and collect $3 million rather than deal with what this mess is and now you're just going to only ruin your reputation even further.
And then he's also been taking shots from J.J. Redick.
J.J. Redick, basically everybody that's ever played under Doc has thrown out those shots either publicly or privately, and no one expects much of this team. And quite honestly, I don't blame them.
Yeah, they fell below the Knicks in the Eastern Conference standings. Somehow the Knicks got to the 2 seed, even in the wake of the injury to Julius Randle. We're going to get to the play-in tournament. I want to ask you also about Tyrese Proctor. Do we think differently about the Knicks? I kind of half joked about 2 months ago that I thought the Knicks could win the East. How do we feel about them now?
If Randall was healthy, I'd feel a lot better about them winning the East. I'll be real with you.
Right.
I think they are very good. I think they win at least a round. I think no matter who comes out of that 7 spot, whether it's Philly or Miami, I think the Knicks dispatch them. I think it's a lot quicker if it's Philly because I don't trust Embiid's leg. Plus, I don't like the depth over there.
Yeah.
But I like if it's Heat Knicks and we get one of those old school 1997 type matchups.
Well, I don't want to watch
in the
that.
First round. Like, I think we might get a 7-game classic out of that.
Yeah.
And I'd be intrigued. I know you don't want to watch. I'd watch. Everybody would watch. You'd be the only one that wouldn't watch, Adam.
No, I don't want to watch basketball played in the 90s. That was my issue.
Well, it's not necessarily played in the 90s. Like, you still have Jalen Brunson and Spo plays modern basketball. Whether Tibbs coaches that way, that's TBD.
Yeah.
But still, like I think the Knicks getting there all depends on who they play. Because if you get a 7-game series out of Miami, and let's say you win that, even if you're facing a Indiana team that likes to get up and down, you just played 7 games with the Heat. It's going to feel like 9. So it's going to hamper your ability to get to the finals. But at this point, like I'll ask you this question. Does the Boston Celtics look like the most fraudulent 64-win team that you've ever seen in your life?
They look like the same team that we've watched in the playoffs the last several years.
Yeah.
I think they're a beatable team. I think they're beatable. They're great. But I think they're great and at the same time beatable.
Very.
So I think anybody could come out of the East. I still think the Knicks have a good chance. I really do. I think the Knicks have a good chance to come out of the East.
I agree with that. Yeah. But at the same point, like we both know this, no one's beating Denver if Murray and Jokic are healthy. The finals are the Nuggets Invitational. It just depends on who's going to be there on the other side at this point.
All right. Well, I think there are roadblocks in front of them too. Kanata Edwards at Nada the Scribe joining us here on the Adam Gold Show, and I think the biggest roadblocks might be maybe the least expected team at the beginning of the season. My kid follows the league in terms of its players more, far deeply than I do. And we have both been like, man, Oklahoma City just might have something. I think they're dangerous.
I want to see what happens when they have to go up against big with physicality and the refs aren't calling anything. I would agree with you that they have something. I think SGA is special. I think Jalen Williams is a top 25 player. Chet Holmgren might be a top 40 player. They have nothing but depth in it.
Yep.
All they're missing is the center. They just need one guy that can bang 15, 20 minutes, and I would feel so much better about them. But the thing that I worry about with them is that when Jokic realizes it's time to turn it up to 10, is there anyone that can provide any sort of resistance? And right now, I don't think they have that. If you tell me it's just Jokic and Michael Porter Jr., okay, I can give OKC a shot. If you're telling me, though, that Murray, Jokic, Porter are all there with some form of Christian Brown and Peyton Watson, I still think it's Denver, and I think Denver's going to end up romping them, even though it's going to be a very educational series for everybody involved.
All right, we don't get Warriors-Lakers in the play-in tournament in the West.
Not
Right, not yet. If the Lakers go to New Orleans and lose and the Warriors beat the Kings, we will get Warriors-Lakers. Are either of those teams, though, threats?
No, not really. Like, at this point, when you are sitting Steph Curry in a game that could get you up to 8, could get you 2 shots at a playoff spot, when you're sitting all your guys for that, that tells me you're not really a threat. You're worried more about winning the 2 games and actually having 2 actual shots at it. And the Lakers, like, I like them, but if they get Denver, like, what are we talking about here? That's 5 and done at best.
Yeah.
If they get OKC, they may stretch this to 6, but even then, someone's going to have to tell me who's guarding Jalen Williams in that series, and after that, who's covering the shooters like Isaiah Joe. And, oh, yeah, there's a whole D'Angelo Russell thing where do you really expect him to show up in the playoffs? There's a whole lot of questions about the Lakers that aren't going to get answered in the next week or 2. So I don't think they're threats. It's nice to consider them threats. It's nice to be considered, period. I'm glad they're probably going to be in the playoffs, but they're not like it's a participation trophy. Congratulations for getting there. But please collect your door prizes and then go home, please.
Yeah, I also I'm curious what the Clippers look like when the lights really go on. I have no idea. They've had so many injury issues, but they might be the most dangerous floater in the West.
That 4-5 series of Clippers Mavericks might be the most interesting series because that's the team that if you're Oklahoma City, I'm not sure you want to go see Dallas. Dallas is hot. Dallas has a lot of pieces to them to where they're going to make a lot of teams uncomfortable, even Denver in small spurts. But at the same point, you're talking about Kyrie healthy. You're talking about Luka, who's on one right now.
Right.
You're talking about P.J. Washington, who fits in. Gafford. You're talking about, Olivier Max Prosper, who's coming along very, very slow. Like, that is a very, very incredibly dangerous team. And they're the team, like, if you tell me the biggest threat to Denver is, it's probably Dallas at this point.
Kanata Edwards, at Not of the Scribe on Twitter. All right, let's close on this.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrese Proctor announced that he was coming back. We don't know the status of Jeremy Roach. I think Jeremy Roach is going to come back. I assume Caleb Foster will also return to Duke, although anything can happen, right? And Foster might look at Proctor and Roach both being back as not conducive to him taking another step forward, even though he looked like he was playing very well until the injury at the end of the year. I think that the pressure for Proctor is really on this offseason and how he transforms himself as a player, both physically and mentally, heading into his 3rd season. He never thought he would have a 3rd season. I'm not sure he thought he would have a 2nd season, and now he's going to have a 3rd. What are your thoughts on Tyrese coming back?
I think it's very interesting, and I also get to break something on this show. Caleb Foster just announced that he's coming back.
Good.
So that is an incredibly crowded backcourt, especially if Jeremy Roach comes back, which I don't think he should. At this point, Jeremy Roach has shown just enough to where you're going to get selected in the 2nd round of this draft because it is that shallow. If this was a normal draft, I would tell him come back to school or hit the portal. At this point, for Tyrese Proctor, this is his make or break moment because if he doesn't perform this year, it's not going to happen for him at Duke.
Right.
And that's when, and me and you had this conversation while you were out, while we were both out in Phoenix. I thought he should have left. Me and you both thought he probably should have left. I still don't understand him coming back because at this point, there had to have been another spot to where this works better for him. And right now, for me, Tyrese Proctor doesn't necessarily fit in there when you're talking about bringing back a Foster. When you have Cooper Fly coming in, you have Isaiah Evans coming in. The bigs are a work in progress. I personally don't understand. I would have tried the Caleb Foster at the 1 experiment personally, because at this point, you need more shooting and you need roster spots because the one area that Duke really needs badly is a nice veteran big, a Cliff Omiuri from Rutgers or something like that. I hope it works out for Proctor, but I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't work out for him.
No, I wouldn't either. I thought he could go sign in the NBL, in the Australian League, play a year there, basically in anonymity, and then declare for the NBA draft, as kind of a rehabilitated player once everybody sees the tape. But now he's going to do it in a more difficult situation, I believe, under the brightest lights, because you're playing at Duke.
Like, I would have found me I would have gone to, like, Georgia, or I would have gone, honestly, I might even gone to Arkansas. I would have probably transferred out, gone to play with Cal, gone to play with somebody else, because as much as I respect Shire's system, I don't think it does well to hone in on the point guards right now. He's still got to work out the point guard play with what he wants to do. And for Tyrese Proctor, a guy that needs development, he might have been better off just transferring out to Fayetteville, go play with John Calipari for a year, let him rehab your stock, or even better yet, go out west, go play with Eric Musselman, go do something else other than be the starting point guard for the Duke Blue Devils, because quite honestly, I'm not sure it's going to be the thing that works out for him because of his skill set.
Kanata Edwards, my friend, at Nada the Scribe from CBS Sports. I appreciate your time, my man. We have playoffs starting tomorrow night. It's very exciting. We've got NHL play. I'll talk NHL playoffs with you whenever you want.
Absolutely. I mean, come on now. Like, I know we can't root for I can't root for the Rangers, but again, I grew up. Again, 94 was a seminal moment in my childhood.
Yes.
So again, I will always forever love Mark Messier and everything else like that. So we will talk NHL playoffs, but we also have to commiserate over the Mets and the
I can't yet. I can't yet. I'm not there yet. I have a lot of hurdles to get over before I even pay attention to what they're doing in Flushing.
Well, that's probably for the best.
Yeah,
that's probably for the best.
I've seen the newspapers. All right, Kanata. I'll talk to you later, man.
Talk to you soon.
You got it. Not a describe. You and I have talked about this, Victoria. I have not yet dipped my toe into anything that's going on in Major League Baseball.
Yes.
I'm aware that there have been injuries to pitchers. Mm-hmm. I'm aware. By the way, did you see the update on Shohei Ohtani's former interpreter?
Yeah, how it went from $4.5 million to $16 million.
$16 million.
Yep.
How?
Just keeps getting weirder.
That happen?
I thought it was difficult for 4.5 to just disappear.
Yes. My initial feeling was, there's something shady going on here. Talk to me when there are charges filed. Charges have been filed.
Finally.
Yep. Mm-hmm. We went straight to fraud.
Not friends anymore.
Yes. No. Yes. Jail time is coming.
Right.
And $16 million.
Bet he didn't pay his taxes on it either.
I bet. What a shame.
Yeah.
Could have got him on two fronts.
Exactly.
But yeah, this has now left the what's going on here? I still don't understand how $16 million can disappear from your account while not knowing.
No.
I just don't understand that. And how you are capable, how it is even humanly possible to hide that from Ohtani, from his financial advisors, from his family.
Yeah.
I don't know how all of that happens. I don't know how the institutions where the money was, I don't know how they allow this to happen.
Yeah, it's a big red flag. Huge.
Theoretically, right?
Right.
Hey, you're not Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
You're not related to Shohei Ohtani.
It's a lot of money.
How come you can do all of these things?
Interesting.
So anyway, that got real.
That escalated quickly.
In a hurry.
Yeah.
In a hurry.
Wow.
All right, we have we're gonna place bets. Also, we are going to stretch. Can we do Caitlin here?
Ooh, we should. It's great.
Caitlin Clark is going to be the first pick in the WNBA draft. She's already in New York City and paid a visit to Saturday Night Live. You got to check this out next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Trust ACT Construction Equipment and Bandit Wood Chippers and Stump Grinders to position your tree service for success. ACT Construction Equipment is your authorized dealer for sales, service, parts, and rentals for Bandit Wood Chippers and Stump Grinders. ACT Construction Equipment has been your authorized dealer for Bandit equipment for over 10 years. Visit one of our 6 North and South Carolina locations or actce.com for more details on Bandit Wood Chippers and Stump Grinders. ACT Construction Equipment, always the right equipment for the job.
Everyone goes through tough times, and everyone can get through them, as long as they don't have to do it alone. Dial 988 if you need someone to talk to. Get what you need to get to a better place. Together, we'll find the care that works best for you. We're here 24/7. Call, text, or chat 988. 988. Let's get through it together. Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
It is playoff time in the NBA and the NHL. Baseball's in full swing, and FanDuel is your home to wager on any game you want. FanDuel's America's #1 sportsbook, and right now new customers can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you make your first $5 wager. FanDuel.com, promo code AGS. FanDuel.com, promo code AGS. Anything you want to wager on, slap shots, home runs, slam dunks, all there. $200 in bonus bets, win or lose, when you make your first $5 wager. Visit FanDuel.com, promo code AGS to get started. I can't make it any easier. FanDuel.com, promo code AGS. FanDuel's America's #1 sportsbook. Must be 21 and older and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Think it's too pricey to pursue your interest and earn a degree? Well, if you're a North Carolinian from a household making $80,000 or less, think again. The Next NC Scholarship could cover more than half, if not all, of your tuition and fees at any NC community college or public university. This is money that doesn't have to be repaid. The Next NC Scholarship helps you know what you're getting because it combines federal and state-funded financial aid to form a new, simplified award. We're talking at least $3,000 for community college or $5,000 for a public university, making the cost of education more manageable. The Next NC Scholarship also helps you know where you're going, because you could see how much you could get to pay for the schools you're interested in. So picking the right path for you in your future is now easier than ever. Applying is as simple as filling out the FAFSA. Dig into the details at nextncscholarship.org. The Next NC Scholarship. Know what you're getting, know where you're going.
April is National Volunteer Recognition Month, and AARP thanks to hundreds of AARP volunteers working to help you get the most out of life. Learn more about the work being done to improve lives and communities across North Carolina by listening to AARP Without Limits. You can find the latest episodes of AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts. You don't need a 4-year degree to have a rewarding career that makes a difference in people's lives every day. As a public power line worker, you'll build and maintain a locally owned and operated electric system to keep the lights on in your community. 4 months in a community college program provides the training you need to begin your career as an apprentice line worker in public power. And being a local government employee in North Carolina comes with excellent benefits. To learn more about line worker and other public power careers, visit electricities.com.
This is Adam Gold.
Listen, the ACC is not as bad as everyone out there, Joe Lenardi and all the proctologists.
Wow. Whoa.
It's
Wait a second. Victoria, did you hear that? It's a proctologist.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. We're going to place bets in just a couple of minutes. It would have been a disastrous weekend had I been here Thursday and Friday, but it was not a disastrous weekend because I wasn't here Thursday and Friday, so that's good. And I know you were tweeting through a UFC card.
Oh my gosh, the best.
Over the over the
good.
weekend, I saw that. I hope all of your punches and kicks to the face were to other people's face, not yours.
Well, thanks to Justin Gaethje not winning, my 8-leg parlay did not come through.
Oh no, an 8-leg.
8-leg,
Wow.
7 out of 8.
Wow,
That one hurt.
A buddy of mine sent me a screenshot of a 5-leg Premier League parlay he made, which had correct goal scorers all over the place, but Manchester United to win. And I said immediately, the only one I don't like is that one.
That part.
And that part didn't happen.
It bit him.
So, all right. So, Caitlin Clark will be the first pick in the WNBA draft. And Saturday night, she was already in New York City for the festivities and paid a visit to Saturday Night Live.
The University of Iowa announced that basketball star Caitlin Clark will have her jersey retired and replaced with an apron. Well, the WNBA draft is this Monday, and Iowa star Caitlin Clark is expected to be the #1 pick. Here to comment is Caitlin Clark. But nothing for my joke, whatever. I am a fan, Caitlin, by the way.
Really, Michael? Because I heard that little apron joke you did.
Well, yeah, it was a joke. We're just having fun, you know?
You make a lot of jokes about women's sports, don't you, Michael?
I wouldn't say a lot, but, you know, it's not on the regular.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a lot. I actually sort of made a supercut. Take a look.
Well, no, we don't have to do that. A number of sports bars around the country are promising to only show women's basketball games during March Madness. The bars are known collectively as the empty ones. A new report claims that recent stories on the Sports Illustrated website were actually generated by AI. And it's already making glaring mistakes. For instance, it made up something called the WNBA. Iowa's Final Four game against UConn was the most watched women's college basketball game ever, with 14.2 million viewers, beating the previous record by 14.2 million viewers.
Wow. Colin with the receipts. Thanks, man.
No problem. You know, unlike Che, I support women.
Whoa! No, hold on. I think you're a great basketball player. I mean, I can't play like you do.
Yeah, we know. And obviously, I can't tell jokes like you do.
Thank you for that.
But I did write some jokes, and it would mean a lot to me if you read some of them. Just right over there on the cards.
Well... The Indiana Fever have the first pick in this Monday's draft. A reminder that Indiana Fever is a WNBA team and not what Michael Che gave to dozens of women at Purdue University.
See? Now that's a good joke about women's sports. Try another one.
You really wrote these yourself?
Yeah.
Netflix's top new show is Ripley, featuring an eerie, unsettling performance by actor Andrew Scott. Critics say it's the hardest thing to watch on Netflix since Michael Che's special Shame the Devil.
I like that one. There's more.
This year, Caitlin Clark broke the record for three-pointers in a single season, and I have three-pointers for Michael Che. 1B, 2 funnier, 3 dumbass.
There you go.
So
Caitlin Clark on Saturday Night Live.
So good.
Yes. Shouts to Michael Che for wearing it
Oh, yes.
on Saturday night.
Yes.
That is that. By the way, their weekend update is strong.
Oh, it is.
Colin Jost and Michael Che are very, very good.
Yeah.
All right. Let's stretch.
Okay, so as we've talked about, today is tax day. And first of all, something else happened on this day. 77 years ago. Jackie Robinson was the first African-American to play in an MLB game.
Yep.
Then, 50 years later, they permanently retired his number. So there's that. 42 is up there. Now, on to the tax day part. So, a recent survey said that about 47% of us procrastinate or delay. So you've probably lost on average about 8 hours of sleep just stressing over it. You shouldn't do that to yourself or procrastinate, but if you do, you can file for an extension and give yourself about 6 months to do that. And in case you are wondering, American tax dollars, they go to social services like Social Security, Medicare, health income security, veterans benefits, education, things like that. And then the 13% goes to defense spending, in case you had no idea. On to positive things about tax day.
We got a positive
I
thing?
know, right? Where did this positive
Very
stuff
nice.
come from? There are places who want to sweeten the deal. Krispy Kreme is one of them.
Of course they do.
Now you can go to Krispy Kreme and get a buy one, get one dozen deal. Basically, you buy a dozen for full price and you get the second for just the sales tax price.
Ah.
So there's that. Also, Grubhub is doing a little $15 off deal. And Hooters, because, you know, people go for the wings.
Yes.
Apparently, it's a buy one, get one wings deal. So, also, Dave & Buster's, if you want to have some real stress relief fun, 50% off all food between today and April 28th. So you can actually plan things for, like, down the road after tax day. But on to them bets that
Let's
we
do
didn't
it.
place.
Place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
All right, I don't even remember where I was when we left off, so let's go.
Yeah, that stung this weekend. I know I shouldn't do 8-leg parlays. I know I shouldn't. But at least I got 7 of 8. So I guess
You don't get anything for 7 of 8.
I know.
That's the problem.
I don't. But today I'm keeping it all on the ice. Buffalo Sabres are going to be in Tampa Bay. Think Tampa Bay is going to win this one. Give me Nikita Kucherov because for some reason he's still plus money and he gets goals all the time. 135.
All right, let's stay in that game. Jeff Skinner's plus 340.
Yeah.
To score a goal.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, is he that bad?
They think so.
I'll go Jeff Skinner at plus 340.
Yeah.
Old school, Jeff. Come on, Jeff.
He's capable.
Plus 340, why not?
Hey, that's a win-win. So Boston Bruins are going to be in Washington taking on the Capitals. Ovechkin, he's been on one here towards the end, so why not? Give me him anytime goal scorer. He's plus 150, so even more.
All right, let's go to the New York Islanders playing at the New Jersey Devils and the Washington Capitals hosting the Boston Bruins. Straight up, give me a parlay. Islanders at the Devils to win. Capitals home to the Bruins to win plus 320.
Oh, I like it. And my last one, Nashville Predators are in Pittsburgh taking on the Penguins. Again, he's plus money, so I'm going to take it. Sidney Crosby, plus 150, anytime goal scorer.
Yeah, that's a big game.
Yes, it is.
Nashville's already secured wild card 1. Penguins in very, very good shape. All right, here's what we're doing here. We're going to get the maximum interest and drama out of tonight. The Ottawa Senators to win at Madison Square Garden. This game will go to overtime.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
Senators in overtime. And let's see, the anytime goal scorer, let's get it from,
I know. There's options.
Claude Giroux.
Okay.
To give us a goal. It's an anytime goal scorer.
Yeah.
So there it is, plus 27-10.
Nice.
All right.
I could see the Islanders and the Devils going into OT too.
They could. The Islanders probably don't need it. They get a point.
Yeah.
They're in good shape to finish third in the division. But if the Senators can win this game in overtime, it opens the door for Carolina tomorrow to claim the Metro. Wouldn't that be cool?
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Are you ready to make this spring one she will never forget? That's right. It is that time again. Diamonds Direct Crabtree's annual spring sale event. You can get 20% off virtually everything in their showroom, and it's already less than it's going to be anywhere else because there is no middleman markup. You're buying directly from the diamond manufacturers, so you're already saving money. Now we're throwing an additional 20% on top of that. So whether you are in the midst of wedding planning and shopping for bands or picking out your next fashion jewelry must-have from Diamonds Direct, you can save an extra 20% this weekend now through April 21st. All bridal, all fashion favorites at Diamonds Direct are on sale. It's a big deal. Don't miss these incredible offers right now at Diamonds Direct Crabtree, the annual spring sale, an additional 20% off now. You can make an appointment at diamondsdirect.com or we'll see you at the showroom. Diamonds Direct Crabtree on Glenwood Avenue in front of Crabtree Valley Mall in Raleigh.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers, the people who refuse to make trade-offs in life. Like Kelly, when her old car insurance got so expensive that she couldn't afford to drive anymore, do you think she started carrying her groceries for miles? No. But she did find Direct Auto's savings that allowed her to drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25%, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a quote today at directauto.com. Savings based on applied discounts and will vary. Terms apply. How you buy can affect price. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
If you see me stopped in the McDonald's drive-thru, just staring at the menu with my "what should I order" face, don't interrupt. It's the most important decision I'll make all day.
Enjoy savings every day when you get a McDouble, McChicken, and other faves. Buy one, get one for $1. Plus, get any size Dr. Pepper for just $1.29. Price and participation may vary. Valid for product of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
It's Truck Month at your local Ram dealer, and now's the time to get great deals on our award-winning lineup of trucks. At Ram, all we do is trucks. Maybe that's why Ram is the most awarded light-duty and heavy-duty truck brand over the last 5 years. Ram trucks feature innovative technology and uncompromised power and dependability that give you the power to strengthen your truck game. Go to Ram.com for great deals and hurry in for the best selection of trucks during Ram Truck Month. Based on total full-size pickup awards 2019 to 2023 CYTD, based on standard and available features offered.
The moment we've been waiting for has arrived. Download the Caesars Sportsbook app today using code NEWNCBG. Then place your first bet of $5 or more. Win or lose, you'll receive $150 in bonus bets. Open to new users in North Carolina who are 21 or older. Terms and conditions apply. See Caesars.com/promos or the promos tab in the app for full terms. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagamenc.gov. Tribal Casino Gaming Enterprise is a licensed operator by the North Carolina State Lottery Commission.
Whether it's the future of college football or my love for the Ryder Cup, it's all found in the Best of the Adam Gold Show podcast, brought to you by Coach Pete at Capital Financial Advisory Group. Visit us at capitalfinancialusa.com.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a walk-up with central air and a skylight, and you found it. Now, every Friday night, you get to fall asleep to the sound of your downstairs neighbor's dance parties. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
This hour on the Triangle Sports Leader is brought to you by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Shoot! He scores!
Go to GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I think the key with Tiger right now is that he runs so much on adrenaline, and once that adrenaline goes away, then it's really tough to get through the end of the week, as we saw.
He had only played 24 holes of golf all year, so playing the 23 on Friday to make it to the weekend, again, that felt a bit like a finish line.
Coming in here, I was concerned about his short game. He showed unbelievable talent and skill those first 2 days, getting the ball up and in, making some nice putts. Through the rest of the week, he didn't do that quite as well. Only made 2 putts over 10 feet out of 39 different opportunities.
It was Andy North and Scott Van Pelt talking about Tiger Woods, who made the cut and then finished last at the Masters over the weekend. And honestly, making the cut is in many ways a win. And when Woods himself said it was a good weekend, and he went from +1 to plus, I think, 16, there's no planet on which that would be a good weekend if he truly believed that he could contend to win. But I sort of suspected, as Woods was kind of leaving it vague, I think I can get one more. Maybe he really was talking about make the cut. And maybe that was the win. That was the win for him over the weekend, was that he could make the cut. And honestly, given the circumstances, it was a pretty difficult thing to do. So that, for those of us who, I didn't grow up watching Tiger. I'm older than that. But I have seen basically all of his competitive career. There has never been anything in sports quite like it for me. I'm happy to just watch him go about the business of being a ceremonial golfer. It was that riveting.
Says a lot about him, too. I mean, mentally, because you could tell when he's in pain like that, but he's still able to grind through. I think he was right with the adrenaline thing, too. You could tell by the end of the week. It's just like, woo, gas tank's empty. Yeah.
Completely done. So it was great that he made the cut. And even that he finished last, it's okay. All right, we're going to talk, coming up in a little bit, Reese Brantmeyer is the North Carolina tennis player who's suing the NCAA because they won't allow her basically to get paid to play tennis. She's a tennis player at Carolina, and, well, it seems like that's perfect for NIL, except no.
Right.
So we're going to talk to her attorney, and we're going to fold in some other stuff that has happened with regards to the ACC as well. But we are going to hit on both of those topics in about 12 or so minutes. Right now, it's time for a Wall of Sound.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
All right, let's get to Augusta National. Scotty Scheffler is your Masters champion, and he has been now a two-time Masters champ after winning for the second time in 3 years.
Do you sense that you're doing something different and something special right now?
I try not to think about the past or the future too much. I love trying to live in the present. I've had a really good start to the year, and I hope that I can continue on this path that I'm on. I'm going to continue to put in the work that's got me here.
So he is the best iron player on tour. He's one of the best players off the tee on tour. And he's also one of the best players around the greens. The one thing he is not is a great putter. But that doesn't mean he's a bad putter. It just means that's not the strength of his game. The biggest misconception is that you have to be a great putter to win at Augusta. You don't. You simply have to putt well. You don't have to be great. Because if that were the case, then guys like, people might not even know this name, Brad Faxon, he'd have won plenty of Masters because he might be the best putter ever. But that's not what it's about. It's about, can you manage the rest of it? And nobody manages the rest of it better than Scotty Scheffler. It came down to, as the old cliche goes, the Masters doesn't start until the back nine on Sunday. And when we got to the back nine, it was anybody's game. Here's Scotty.
Scotty, when you got on the back nine, was there any point where you decided, no matter what, I'm not leaving, even if you got a call?
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about? Of course I'm not leaving. No. I guess that's a testament to how good of a headspace I was in. I wasn't thinking about that much. I was doing my best to stay in the moment, stay calm, execute shots. I was very focused out there today. I feel like I did a really good job. Teddy did a great job of making sure that we kept the golf course in front of us. I didn't get off to the best start, but had some key up and downs. And, Teddy once again did a great job of keeping me in it. And, we had a great week.
All right, couple of things to provide a little context there. The first is his wife is a couple of weeks away from giving birth to their first child. He said, much like Phil Mickelson said in 1999, that if his wife went into labor, he was leaving to go home regardless of where he was in the tournament. So that was the question that was asked when you got to the back nine. You only had 9 holes to play, which theoretically 2 hours plus whatever media you had to do afterwards, would you have just ditched it? So whether he would have or not, he didn't have to. So almost pointless to think about it. But he is that guy, right? He is as good as there is on the PGA Tour, on any tour. There's nobody who is even close to being as good as Scottie Scheffler is. Let me get a couple of other things in, and I think there was another thought that, frankly, I forgot. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the Hurricanes, who beat the Chicago Blackhawks last night 4-2. It is their 5th consecutive win, and Rod Brindamore is talking about, really at this time, they're thinking about the next thing.
We all know that we're in the playoffs. So what do we? And maybe we move up, but chances are probably not. And we're not. No one's catching us. Like it's been that's why I give my guys a lot of credit, because we've been in this spot for a while, and yet we still find ways to get it done. So I think it says a lot about the group, and they understand they have a job to do regardless, and they've been doing it.
Yeah, these games have not been easy to play because you almost have to manufacture your motivation. It's entirely up to the Rangers whether or not Carolina has a chance to win the Metro. And it's been that way, honestly, since the Hurricanes lost to the Rangers 2-1. You win that game, it's different. But they lost that game. So since then, it has been up to New York whether or not these games really have meaning. There's been so much separation. They were never getting caught by, at one point it was Philadelphia. Now there's 20 points separating. The Islanders have it's more than 20 points. The Islanders have 90. The Hurricanes have 111. So it's 21 points, and it's been a big gap for about 4 weeks. They were never getting caught. So these are difficult games to play. There's just no way around that. Let's get to Seth Jarvis, who scored 2 power play goals, the second of which came on a rebound where he was all alone in front and just slid it into the empty net, and that gave Carolina the 3-2 lead. Rod on his 33-goal scorer.
We did a nice job, I thought, executing what we were, we knew what we had to do was getting it down there. And, he's a good player, so he made a couple nice plays. And, the one's a shot and a rebound, but that's what you do on power plays. And I think the key is we stayed patient with it. Like, we didn't have power play till that third period. And so the penalty kill had to come up big and kill theirs, because that would have been the difference in the game, too.
The Hurricanes right now have so much scoring depth. They just need to bring it out. Jarvis has 33 goals. Aho's got 36 goals. Gensel combined between Pittsburgh and Carolina's got 30. Andre's 1 away from getting to 20. Natchez, it seems like he hasn't scored in a while, is at 24. Jordan Stahl just got to 10. So many players are in double-digit goals, and you know that there is more to be had. I'll just say this real quick. Offensively, for me, 2 players are the key for them going forward. They are Teuvo Teravainen and Andrei Svechnikov. If those 2 players have good playoffs, I think Carolina offensively is in great shape.
Very dangerous.
I think Teravainen and Svechnikov both unlock so much of their offense. Defensively, you'd like to stay healthy.
Yes.
But I think Carolina's got some depth there. Tony DeAngelo's played 2 good games in a row coming out of the press box. And I got to say that I dug Scott Morrow's NHL debut against St. Louis. I thought he was an effective player. Now, they hope he doesn't have to play.
Right.
But I think they found out that he could play.
I mean, didn't he even get like a shot on goal within the first few minutes of him being on the ice?
He was I thought, a very good offensive player.
Yeah.
He didn't score. He didn't have
No.
any points. But I thought he was impactful when Carolina had the puck. And I also don't think he looked at it. He just didn't look out of place. And that's the biggest key. All right, when we come back, the North Carolina tennis player suing the NCAA. We will talk to her attorney, Jason Miller, about that. And also this news over the weekend that ESPN is trying to broker a deal to have Florida State and Clemson leave the league for the SEC. Next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
You're always close to the Canes with 99.9 The Fan.
47 seconds left in overtime. Jarvis now his feet. Dropper, Natchez, he scores! Natchez in overtime, and the Canes win it 3-2!
Count on us to bring you every Canes game night and the latest Canes news from insider Adam Gold, your official home for the Carolina Hurricanes. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Adam Gold here from my man, Coach Pete D'Arruda, Capital Financial Advisory Group in Apex. We call him Coach Pete D'Arruda for a reason, because he has a game plan for your retirement. We could call him the Exterminator because he can exterminate those financial termites in your retirement planning. What are financial termites? It's things that eat away at the foundation of your retirement planning. That's what they are. Just like termites eat away at the foundation of your house. You don't want those, so you don't want them in your finances either. Coach Pete D'Arruda can help. All you got to do is text Adam to 600-700 or call 888-843-0013. We're going to get you in front of Coach Pete so he can exterminate your financial termites, and he can set you up with a total customized retirement plan for your retirement so you can get to retirement with everything you need to live the life you want to live. 888-843-0013 or text Adam to 600-700. Total customized retirement plan, no financial termites. Coach Pete D'Arruda. Call today.
It's Bo time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's Bo time.
There's no time like Bo time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop. Introducing Bojangles' new Bird Dog, a seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supreme, dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all on a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or a 2 Bird Dog combo for just $8. Hurry, Bo's Bird Dogs are available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
What are you doing?
I'm training for the new Ultimate Dash Scratch-Offs. I could get a chance to dash through a warehouse full of prizes.
That explains the shopping cart.
Plus, I could win up to $2 million in cash.
And that explains the tuxedo.
I'm chafing.
Feel the rush with new Ultimate Dash Scratch-Offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.78. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Adam Gold.
Is a hot dog a sandwich, Mike?
Is a pizza a sandwich then? It's bread with toppings and stuff.
When you fold it, yeah.
And it's a calzone.
A calzone's a sandwich too.
Oh goodness!
They're all under the sandwich umbrella. So is that a yes or a no?
That is a debate. That is a debate I will never embrace.
Oh my gosh! Oh my God!
The Adam Gold Show.
It is tax day. Be prepared. Be prepared. Don't go do other things.
No, don't sleep on this.
Not until you get this done. So happy April 15th to everybody. Yes, it is. Obviously, it's a great day. All right, let's get to some other things. We have talked about this before. For people who have listened to this program, you know that I have been very loud in my support for college athletes and their right to earn money based on, we'll just use name, image, likeness, but frankly, who they are. There is value in being the college athlete. And I've been talking about this not just for the last 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. I've been talking about it for like 5 years or longer. Because if you go back to Marcus Page, when he was at North Carolina, who didn't really have a pro future, or use R.J. Davis or Jeremy Roach, the time to realize your value in the marketplace is while you're in school and you have actual value. Well, that's an NIL deal. There's another part of this. And now that it is flat out pay for play in college and the courts can't do anything about it, why couldn't a player, an athlete like Nick Dunlap, the golfer at Alabama, who won a PGA Tour event and then turned pro, why couldn't he stay at Alabama and just make money? Well, Reese Brantmeyer's a tennis player at the University of North Carolina, felt the same way. But it's not allowed. Jason Miller's an attorney with Miller, Monroe, and Plyler. Sorry, can't read. Here in town, and he joins us on the Adam Gold Show. He's Reese Brantmeyer's attorney. This seems like the living, breathing definition of NIL or pay for play. Why is the NCAA against this? Why are they fighting it? And why are they inviting another loss in court?
Adam, good afternoon. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about what I think is a very noble cause, and one that I think most people will agree with, and I hope at some point the NCAA will agree with it. You got the firm name correct. I appreciate that.
Thank
Miller,
you.
Monroe, and Plyler.
It was not easy for me. It's the end of a long day.
No, I appreciate it. We're a commercial litigation and sports law firm in town, and we partner with our friends at Milberg, Dan Bryson and his team, to bring this action. It's a antitrust class action suit against the NCAA. And the case, as you said, deals with a pretty narrow issue. It is whether an individual athlete, college athlete, an individual sport, can retain earnings that they have when they compete in non-NCAA events. So, for example, the U.S. Open.
Right.
And, some of these athletes, Reese, for example, we're talking $40,000 or $50,000 in her case. Some of these athletes, it is, $200,000 and $300,000.
Yep.
For athletes where there's no guaranteed future in a professional tennis or professional golf, swimming, track and field, those sorts of sports. And so what we're saying is, the NCAA is allowing folks to earn a whole lot of income based on their NIL, as you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
They're allowing Olympians to be paid
for
medals. They allow, if certain organizations call it a grant, they allow athletes to keep a grant. What the difference between a grant and prize money, I don't exactly fully understand.
Right.
But this is the narrow case where, there's still archaic rules in place that say, look, we're going to allow you to play in the U.S. Open, but if you win money, you can't keep it, because that would destroy the concept of amateurism, which we all know is long gone.
Right. I mean, Jason Miller is joining us here. Reese Brett Myers, attorney, the UNC tennis player who wants to play in outside NCAA events and earn money doing so, which, again, makes perfect sense to those of us who have looked at this. What I'm curious about is how the NCAA has argued back with you, how they square the recent lawsuit where the attorneys general in Virginia and Tennessee, I believe, sued the NCAA and won in court that they're not even allowed to enforce their own rule about pay for play. So it's actually against the rules, but now they can't even. Am I missing that there is a difference here? It seems like they're just not allowed to enforce it anyway. How are they still holding the line on this?
The walls are shaking, the ceiling's falling in, the chandeliers hanging down. They're trying to keep the thing up. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and I can't explain it. How do you allow? And we're not against NIL payments. We think it's a good development in the law.
Yeah,
and we're not against the other compensation folks receive. This is not asking pay for play. We're not saying, hey, you the school need to pay these athletes. That's not what this case is about. This is they've gone elsewhere and they've earned the money, and you're making them give it back. And in Reese's case, I mean, it's particularly egregious. I mean, she was allowed to keep her actual expenses. She was a high school junior,
right?
16 years old, and the NCAA, before she gets to Carolina, they do an audit of her expenses, and they say, hey, we can't guarantee you're going to be eligible until we complete this audit. And of course, UNC sits her rather than face the wrath of the NCAA. And you know, they go back and look and say, hey, you're 16 years old, but, you know, you stayed in a hotel room. Your mother was there with you. You really should have deducted 50% of her cost. You took an Uber with your mother. You really should have deducted 50% of that Uber ride. I mean, this is the kind of things we're talking about in today's day and age.
The NCAA, is this the IRS or the NCAA doing this?
That's a good question.
I mean,
but the idea is they would take on somebody in, you know, a high school, a 16-year-old coming in, a freshman in college by the time this actually gets decided, in a non-revenue sport. You know, somebody that it doesn't have a guaranteed future. And frankly, how long is a tennis career? Even if you do have a guaranteed future. She's got an opportunity to make real money. It doesn't cost the school anything.
Right.
It doesn't cost the NCAA anything. And by the way, it benefits them tremendously. Is it not better for the NCAA to have their athletes knowing that they can stay in school, get an education, participate in the NCAA system, but earn enough money to be able to fund additional participation in tennis tournaments, or practice, or a coach? I mean, how does that hurt the NCAA?
I have been arguing for a long time that could you imagine if they allowed Michelle Wie to play professional golf events while she was like an enrolled student living in the dorms at Stanford? If they had allowed that, Katie Ledecky, maybe the greatest female swimmer of all time, I don't even know if I should use the word maybe, has not been able to compete for Stanford, or would not be been able to compete for Stanford if she earned money outside of that. Like, why can't we have both? It would raise the level of awareness for college sports, which I believe is probably a good thing and benefits all parties. Do you see this ever getting to court? And because it's an antitrust suit, whatever monetary damages would be trebled. What is the NCAA's exposure here, or are you just suing for access?
Well, you know, the key to our case, this is not a case that we're out there pursuing money. We're not even seeking damages in this case, which is, you know, quite a differentiator.
Yeah.
It was something that for our firm, Miller, Monroe & Plyler, it was important to take on a noble case and one that we could believe in. Reese is pursuing a change in the rule. She doesn't have her hand out. She's not saying, hey, I want what y'all owe me or what you took away from me going back in time. She's simply coming forward to try to stop this for herself and what eligibility she has left and for future student athletes. But the definition of a student athlete shouldn't be whether you earn money on a side hustle, because the definition ought to be whether you are an active student, whether you do the work, whether you take the test, whether you maintain your eligibility. Why are we worried about whether she earns some money up there at the U.S. Open. Do we worry about art students that sell their art not being students?
Or music students that play in a band and get paid $150 for a Friday night at a bar.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Agreed.
And you're right.
I think that this is all going to come down. Again, the NCAA's answers due coming up here in about 30 days. We'll see what they do with it. Maybe they'll fight us to the hilt on it. We're sort of expecting they will. But we hope, since we are not seeking a big pile of money, since we're seeking to have a rule change that everyone agrees is sort of absurd in today's world, we're trying to have it changed so that these student athletes don't have to face the same trials that Reese had to face. And you mentioned a minute ago, that this is the time for these athletes to make money. Reese blew her knee out.
Oh, wow.
About a month ago, she had surgery. And she's fighting hard. She's coming back, but there's no guarantees here.
That's right. There is no guarantee in a pro career. Yeah, so, you should amend the lawsuit to get some cash from the NCAA. Jason Miller from Miller, Monroe, and Plyler. All right, while I have you, since this is also your area of expertise, I read, I guess it was late last week, that there is some rumor of a brokered arrangement between ESPN, the ACC, and Florida State and Clemson, who are seeking legal remedies for what they believe to be a bad television deal, which limits their media revenue to about half of what they're going to get, what they could get in the SEC or the Big Ten. Mm-hmm. The way I look at the story, it's that ESPN is essentially forcing the ACC to agree to this. If the ACC says no, do they have legal remedy against ESPN?
The irony here is this is all based in contract, right? You enter a contract, and courts are going to assume sophisticated parties like the ACC and Florida State and Clemson and ESPN, they all have teams of lawyers. They all know what they're doing.
Right.
They go into these deals wide open, and they've got to sort of honor those obligations. I mean, the irony of this thing is Florida State and Clemson, the idea that they were somehow taken advantage of, that they didn't see this coming, or that they shouldn't be held to their contracts is a little strange, a little absurd.
Right.
The teams of lawyers put these things together. The NCAA has allowed these conferences to go out and form up contracts in whatever way they see fit with their member institutions. They form the contracts. Everybody sings the praises of how much money they're going to make and ensures the long-term stability of the conference. And then, a few years later, they sort of change their mind and say, shoot, the wind has changed, and we don't want to honor our obligations anymore. And so it is a little odd. Odd might not be the right word, but
right.
that Florida State and Clemson wouldn't want to honor their obligations. But to answer your question, it sort of depends on what ESPN and ACC have in terms of a contract as to what ESPN can force. What outs do either side have? Is the contract terminable by either party if certain metrics are not met?
Right.
And so without actually seeing the contract, none of us will really know what kind of leverage does ESPN have here. Hopefully the ACC's lawyers and the institutions did a good enough job to ensure that ESPN is bound to pay the amounts they've committed to pay, and that they can't sort of terminate it at will or get out of it if certain metrics aren't hit, so that ESPN doesn't have that sort of leverage. Without seeing those deals, we really don't know at this point.
All right, so hypothetically, there is an out in the contract after, I believe, either 26 or 27, where ESPN could, if they choose to not pick up the option, the contract would end there, thus ending the grant of rights, which ties Florida State and Clemson to the league and everybody else to the ACC at that point. If ESPN tells Jim Phillips, you either agree to this or we're not picking up the option, what is that considered?
Yeah, so the way that I think that would happen, we're both speculating right now.
Yeah.
Neither of us is in the room, right? But we're sort of guessing as to how this is playing out. I am certain that the good folks at ESPN are smart enough not to make any kind of threats or to make any other coercive statements.
Right.
That if you don't do this, we're going to do this. But they could be suggestive in nature. That, hey, folks at ACC, we've got a renewal coming up, and we're really going to have to think long and hard about whether we want to do that if y'all don't play ball on this other thing. And so I'm sure there are, ESPN holds the strings. They're the purse strings.
Right.
They decide who's going to be generating the money, and with that power, it gives the ability to sort of control the process. And so it would not shock me at all if ESPN was trying to broker a deal that saves their golden calf.
Yeah.
And that ensures that their product is viable and that their advertising dollars are going to continue to flow. But in terms of whether they're, forcing that deal, I'd be really shocked if ESPN was dictating to the ACC or to Florida State or Clemson or anyone else that you're going to do this, because that would potentially expose them.
Oh yeah, that just seems like, and ESPN has a vested interest in both leagues, damaging one to benefit another, and you have both. Doesn't hurt your bottom line, but it definitely hurts half of the schools in question and their bottom line over time. So we'll see how this whole thing works out. Jason Miller, I appreciate Reese Brantmeyer's attorney with Miller, Monroe, and Plyler. I appreciate your time, and we will do it again, sir.
Adam, very much appreciate your time. Have a great afternoon.
You too. That's Jason Miller. When I read the story, and I don't want to get into too great detail here because you could, your eyes will kind of roll back into your head. But essentially, it's ESPN recognizing that FSU and Clemson won out, and that as unhappy members of the ACC, a resolution to this is likely going to be coming somewhere and for some figure. But ESPN not wanting to lose Florida State and or Clemson to the Big Ten is trying to force the SEC, which may or may not want Florida State, or Clemson for that matter, but I think they're probably more in tune with Clemson than Florida State. But ESPN wants to keep those two football brands under their own umbrella. And because they control the SEC as well as the ACC, that is their way to do it. All right, let's get these guys over here. But in order to do that, you're going to have to convince the ACC that it is in their financial best interest to play ball with you. How do you do that? It's almost impossible to do that without damaging the ACC. Throughout all of this reporting, it is said that the ACC would negotiate a new broadcast deal with ESPN that would pay them less money. There's no way they agree to this. Look, there's no good solution to what is happening right now. None. We've been talking about this for a long time. The people who are in control of college football, meaning Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti, and to an extent, ESPN and Fox, do not give a damn about the college sports ecosystem at all. They are proving that every day. They only care about the bottom line. That's where we are in college sports. I will be fascinated to see how this plays out. But as it has been rumored, this is what ESPN is trying to do. If Jim Phillips, the commissioner of the Atlantic Coast Conference, says no, what's the move? If the league stays intact, ESPN doesn't have recourse to come out of the deal. So what happens? It's going to get a lot uglier than it is right now. And trying to make this, well, this is the best the ACC could do anyway, I'm not sure that's the right way to look at it. But again, that's not my area of expertise. I'm trying to come at this from a common sense point of view. Either way, I think ESPN could be exposing themselves to an enormous lawsuit.
Big time.
And it's not from like even North Carolina or a school like that. It's from the schools who would really get hurt. UNC will find a home. State will probably find a home. Maybe even Duke will find a home. Wake? BC? Syracuse? Don't see it. Don't see it. That's where the lawsuit's going to come. If you're ESPN, that's your exposure, I think. But what do I know? All right, quick break and then a rewind and everything we talked about in terms of Scotty Scheffler and hoops next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Fair housing is more than just a celebration in April. For North Carolina's realtors, it's an everyday standard. For the 56,000 realtors across our state, we embrace and support fair housing to stamp out discrimination in all forms. As realtors, we believe fairness is worth fighting for, and we won't stop until the fight is won. Celebrating Fair Housing Month, North Carolina Realtors. We open doors to everyone. Paid for by North Carolina Realtors.
It is playoff time in the NBA and the NHL. Baseball's in full swing, and FanDuel is your home to wager on any game you want. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook, and right now new customers can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you make your first $5 wager. FanDuel.com, promo code AGS. FanDuel.com, promo code AGS. Anything you want to wager on, slap shots, home runs, slam dunks, all there. $200 in bonus bets, win or lose, when you make your first $5 wager. Visit FanDuel.com, promo code AGS to get started. I can't make it any easier. FanDuel.com, promo code AGS. FanDuel's America's #1 sportsbook. Must be 21 and older and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Charlotte this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 25 different sports. The Body Armor State Games features 13,000 athletes and 700 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Harris Teeter, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
Think it's too pricey to pursue your interest and earn a degree? Well, if you're a North Carolinian from a household making $80,000 or less, think again. The Next NC Scholarship could cover more than half, if not all, of your tuition and fees at any NC community college or public university. This is money that doesn't have to be repaid. The Next NC Scholarship helps you know what you're getting because it combines federal and state-funded financial aid to form a new, simplified award. We're talking at least $3,000 for community college or $5,000 for a public university, making the cost of education more manageable. The Next NC Scholarship also helps you know where you're going because you could see how much you could get to pay for the schools you're interested in. So picking the right path for you in your future is now easier than ever. Applying is as simple as filling out the FAFSA. Dig into the details at nextncscholarship.org. The Next NC Scholarship. Know what you're getting, know where you're going.
Trust ACT Construction Equipment and Bandit Wood Chippers and Stump Grinders to position your tree service for success. ACT Construction Equipment is your authorized dealer for sales, service, parts, and rentals for Bandit Wood Chippers and Stump Grinders. ACT Construction Equipment has been your authorized dealer for Bandit equipment for over 10 years. Visit one of our 6 North and South Carolina locations or actce.com for more details on Bandit Wood Chippers and Stump Grinders. ACT Construction Equipment, always the right equipment for the job.
April is National Volunteer Recognition Month, and AARP thanks the hundreds of AARP volunteers working to help you get the most out of life. Learn more about the work being done to improve lives and communities across North Carolina by listening to AARP Without Limits. You can find the latest episodes of AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Telling my girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This is Adam Gold.
Dan on Twitter, who you got? Robert Plant or Elvis Presley? That is actually very difficult because I don't want to disrespect Elvis Presley. I think it's Elvis. It's very, very close. And that is an incredible question.
The Adam Gold Show.
This is Johnny Paychecks, right?
It is Johnny Paycheck.
It's fantastic.
It's great.
It's fantastic. Happy Tax Day, everybody. I am Adam Gold. Victoria's here. Welcome to the program, The Adam Gold Show.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. April 15th, do your civic due diligence. Yeah. Just do that. We don't want Uncle Sam coming after you.
No, you don't.
Right? Just do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, the Rangers will host the Ottawa Senators at Madison Square Garden. And not that I want you to watch the Rangers and the Senators, and frankly, you don't have to. It's going to happen regardless. But if Ottawa wins the game, whether in regulation or in overtime, the Hurricanes will have a chance tomorrow in Columbus to win the Metropolitan Division.
Yes.
If the Rangers get 2 points out of today, no chance.
That's it.
And then tomorrow we'll find out whether or not the Hurricanes are going to alter their lineup. Will they rest players? My feeling is they probably won't.
Yeah.
That I think the resting was done the last two games. And I think what we'll see is unless guys are nursing something, and maybe there are, I think we will see the full group.
Yeah. Don't want to get rusty.
Because tomorrow to Saturday is already a long time. Or Sunday.
Yeah.
And frankly, there are going to be series that don't begin until Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of believe Carolina is going to begin on the weekend, but I don't know. It's not based on anything. I'm just trying to think it through logically. I think the Rangers, win or lose tonight, I think the Rangers, if they win, it'll be maybe Pittsburgh, maybe Washington, maybe Detroit. I think the Rangers are going to play Saturday afternoon. It's going to be the big kickoff to the playoffs. I think the Hurricanes might begin Saturday night. I think Boston and Florida and Toronto, or Boston and Tampa would be the Saturday night game. Actually, if it's Toronto would probably play Saturday night for Hockey Night in Canada purposes. So if it's Florida, Toronto, it would be that. Tampa, Boston, maybe Sunday afternoon. I think the Hurricanes would likely be an evening game, either Saturday or Sunday. Because it's not going to be a marquee series. Hurricanes, Islanders is not going to be a marquee series. And if the Hurricanes do manage to win the division, Hurricanes, Washington won't necessarily be a marquee series. First round, of course, is allowed to be kept for local. All the local, unless it's an exclusive game, all of the local broadcasts will hold. And so you could get, 6 out of the 7 games in a theoretical 7-game series. They'll all be shared between a national broadcast and a local.
I love that we get to watch them.
Yes.
Finally.
It's right. That's right. Without blackouts, I believe.
Yes.
The rules are weird, but yes, I totally understand. The app wasn't great this weekend, by the way.
Oh, no. I mean, I still don't have the app because it seems kind of pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it a throbbing bee again? It was a throbbing bee
It
again.
was.
Ugh.
It was. Once again, no, it's just in a circle.
Yeah.
Just keep circling.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
it's pointless.
can we start it?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
First, don't ask me to confirm my zip code again. You have it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here it is. And now we just circle.
Oh, no.
Like circle.
Man.
The app on my television was fine, but I was in a place yesterday at 6 o'clock where I wanted to access it on my phone.
Yeah, not
and
your
it
TV.
It disallowed me.
See? Not cool.
So, yeah, get a better app.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's where we are. Let's rewind. All right, the Masters ended yesterday. It always ends on a Sunday, doesn't it? Scotty Scheffler, for the second year in 3, is your Masters champion. Brad Fritsch, PGA Tour veteran. I think maybe a 2-time winner. I asked him, is Scotty the best player in the world right now?
Oh, he 100% is the best player in golf right now. He's been hot for 2 years. If only he had a cooperative putter last year, he'd have probably 2 times the number of wins that he has right now. I think he's on 9 PGA Tour wins, 2 majors. He putted, I think the strokes gained was 172nd. That's Brad Fritsch territory when I was on tour. And, I mean, this is the best iron player in the world.
Yep.
One of the top 5 drivers of the golf ball in the world. And you saw it down the stretch yesterday when a couple of guys who were lurking had trouble with the shape of some of the holes. I specifically think of Morikawa on 9. Doesn't fit his shot shape.
Right.
Hits it in the trees and made a mess of it from there. And then Max Homa, who played very well, but he was trying to rope hook a 3-wood around the corner because he doesn't have that shot with driver on 13.
Right.
So Scheffler just stood up and did whatever he wanted to off the tee all week. And in particular, his driving and his short game were the best at Augusta last week. And, you'd almost say that he played just okay the rest of the way. Like his iron play was good, but it wasn't Scotty Scheffler good, and he still won by 4. So it's scary to think about. He's got such a great mindset. He's all these weapons in his arsenal. So he's definitely the best player in golf right now.
Right. Brad and I talked about the fact that Scheffler didn't have to do anything spectacular. That doesn't mean that playing good, solid golf under those circumstances isn't spectacular in and of itself, because it is. And he hit some shots close. He almost holed out on 9. He was within a couple of feet on 14. But it wasn't like he needed to do anything spectacular. We saw a lot of guys hit it close on those holes. He just was very, Scheffler-like. He is the best iron player since Tiger. He had the shortest odds of winning the Masters since Woods was basically even money. It's unheard of to have odds that low. The best odds I have seen to win a major in the last 6-7 years is plus 800. Scheffler was plus 400.
He was.
At the beginning of the tournament.
And I almost bit.
Yeah, right. But almost, what's the point?
I know. Yeah.
Like, it's not Tiger. It's not Tiger or the field, but it's closer than we have ever been to Scheffler or the field. That's what's lost on so many people. He was the overwhelming favorite and just went out and went about his, pedestrian business of bringing the field to its knees. All right, now to the other story of the weekend for Brad. Tiger Woods made the cut 24th consecutive time he has made the cut at the Masters. That is the record. He was holding the record jointly with Fred Couples and Gary Player, each at 23. Woods now holds the record. He did finish last once he made the cut. He made the cut at 1 over par, which was well inside the cut line. The cut line was +6. He made the cut at +1 and then finished last. What did you think of Tiger's finish?
I thought it was very telling that after the round, he called it a good week.
Yep.
We're definitely have transitioned into not necessarily ceremonial golfer Tiger, but the elder statesman of the game who might have one, magical week left in him. But for the most part, if he plays 4 rounds, it's a good week.
That's magical if he plays 4 rounds.
Yeah. One thing I did see, I was there last year watching, and him limping off the first tee in the first round was painful for me to watch. It just looked uncomfortable. It made me feel uncomfortable. I can only imagine what it felt like to him. This year, his gait for the entire week looked okay. It didn't look like he was getting through the ball on Saturday and Sunday very well. So that tells me it's a little bit of a lower back thing instead of a leg and ankle thing. But his walking looked a lot better than it has in the past year and a half. So that's a positive. He's still striking the ball well off the tee. He's hitting it far.
Yeah.
And for the first 2 days, that was Tiger putting like he did 20 years ago. He made so many par putts, so many par saves. For him to make the cut was pretty darn good the way he hit it. So I was impressed with his game through 2 rounds, but you kind of figured that the 2 rounds took it out of him. They were not easy days to play in, especially Friday, and then Saturday was just as difficult. I don't recall a 2-day stretch at the Masters like that in a long time where the course was so difficult and the conditions were so difficult.
The average score was 75, 3 over par on Friday. That was the hardest conditions. That's why when I went, because I watched a lot of the second round, when Tiger walked off the course and he shot a 72 in his second round with the course completely dried out and wind baked. Can you be wind baked? I don't know. But the gusts were going up to 50 miles an hour. It was sustained at like 25. There were holes that they had no chance to reach into. Par 5s. Every par 5 at Augusta, every single one is reachable in 2. Now, admittedly, some players are hitting long irons in. But there were 3 of the par 5s that were not reachable at all because of the wind. And not only the direction, but the power of the wind. And if it's a crosswind, you can't control your ball flight at all. It was amazing to me that he not only played 23 holes on Friday, but that he got it around in even par for his second round with that body under those conditions. It was one of the most amazing things I'd seen Tiger Woods do. And we've seen him win 15 major championships. It really was a tremendous, tremendous day for Tiger and for golf. And then yesterday, Charlie shows up, and Charlie's helping him on the range, obviously telling him, like, what is that 82 you did yesterday, Dad?
Yeah.
That's unacceptable. That's not good for my reputation to have you out here shooting 10 over par. Actually, I think it was at 83. I don't know. I don't know what the number was. He was terrible. He was awful. And he finished, after making the cut at +1, he finished at +16. He was dead last in the field. But he's going to play in the next major in Louisville, Kentucky. And it's an easier walk. I'm not saying it's an easy walk, but it's an easier walk. Theoretically, it will be warmer, which he needs. And then the U.S. Open is at Pinehurst. Like, it would be great for everybody, especially us here, if Tiger was able to complete the next 2 majors.
Yeah.
Going to be hard. It's going to be hard. He did not win either time, or any of the 3 at Pinehurst. And he was in the mix for two of them. Anyway, we got to go. Canes watching the Rangers and the Ottawa Senators tonight. And who knows, Hurricanes fans? Maybe the Sens will do us all a solid, beat the Rangers, and give us all real reason to pay attention tomorrow night to the Canes and the Blue Jackets. Victoria, it's nice to see you. Happy Tax Day, everybody. See you tomorrow on The Adam Gold Show.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Are you ready to make this spring one she will never forget? That's right. It is that time again. Diamonds Direct Crabtree's annual spring sale event. You can get 20%